Hello, hello. Test, test. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. Welcome back to another episode of Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Today we're going to be exploring the final area of the game, apparently. We've been doing a pretty good job clearing bosses. Last time we had an amazing 40-minute long gauntlet against probably the hardest boss in the game, at least in terms of endurance. It was a real endurance challenge for sure. A lot of fun though. Really enjoyed that. It was taxing, it was draining, but that was part of the fun. Just make sure I get my levels good here. I think we're getting pretty close to the end. Obviously I still have that fucking floating dragon thing to deal with. I have Golgrot to deal with. But I think we are pretty close. I think the last things to explore, like the world is kind of shrinking in terms of stuff that we haven't yet experienced. So, at least I think so. This game tends to have a lot of surprises in store. So, you know, it's very possible that there might be much more than I expected. But I think we're kind of getting to a good stopping point. And honestly, it feels like the game is reaching a natural conclusion. If it drags out for another 10 or 20 more hours, like, I mean, I'm not going to object to having more content of a game that I love, but at the same time, it feels like it has kind of gotten to the place where it's said what I think it probably wants to say, and I'm not sure how much more time there needs to be to get across this message, so to speak. But I mean, it's subjective, right? It's a really interesting thing to consider is like, is there such a thing as too long of a game? Like, what counts as overstaying your welcome, if that's even a thing at all, right? So I don't know. I'm grateful to have more time to spend with it. I'm looking forward to the Game Awards this Saturday. I think Saturday morning I'm going to, or Saturday night, excuse me, I'm going to wind up streaming the Game Awards rather than streaming Naruto just for the evening. And kind of commentate on what's been going on in the industry, react to the various things that are coming out, discuss with you guys what you are hyped about and why. I think that's pretty much it. No major updates from me at the moment. I've just been, I think we already came here and just kind of poking around. You know, if I seem a little bit scatterbrained today, has been a long week already. I've had a pretty crazy day at work. Crazy good, but still, you know, kind of stressful. Coming off of that, and I'm looking forward to just kind of chilling with you guys this evening. I see Saria is here. Welcome, Saria. I hope you are doing well. Hope your week is going well. Any updates on the internship situation? Are you already all set for that? You have everything you need in terms of like making that official and all that? I forget if I asked you previously. Hope you are doing well and feeling okay. Hope your back is stable and not kerfuckled, as you say. By the way, I hope you don't mind me stealing that term, kerfuckled. It's become sort of my default, like, like knee-jerk response for if I'm kind of stressed and somebody asks me how I'm doing. Well, probably a little kerfuckled at the moment. But, yeah, hope you're doing well. I need to kind of reacquaint myself with, oh yeah, there's the... It's been 2 whole weeks since we played, which is crazy to think about. I've been away for so long. But, I hope that's all going well. Oh, wait, I think I recognize this. So, je merde les descendre. Tous mes potes détestent les descendre, sauf Maëlle, parce qu'elle est la meilleure et méritait d'être heureuse. So let me see if I get this. J'emmerde, I'm guessing that means, well, merde means shit, right? So j'emmerde, that means like I hate, or like I cast aspersions upon, something along those lines, right? So the Descendre family, all my homies hate the Descendre family, except for Maëlle, because she's the best and she deserves to be happy. Is that right? So I still got a little bit left of that old French ability. Yeah, today is just going to be exploring. I really want to check out that big cylinder in the middle of the map. I just want to make sure that we do a little bit of peripheral exploring, because I think there's a couple of things that I haven't fully finished up with yet. That being said, I mean, like, we're in a place where I wouldn't exactly say we're overpowered, you know, especially when it comes to the super bosses, but we're definitely up there in terms of strength. So I don't think clearing these areas will take all that much longer, or like all that long, rather. I guess I should probably be double checking my, let's see, checking my Pictos to make sure I don't have anything else to level up. Max health is reduced to 1, but critical rate is 108. So interestingly, if I... Huh. I bet this could combine interestingly if I wind up equipping it with other things. But let's see. I think Monaco was going to be... Who were we using as like a fodder for our... Oh, I know. Hang on. I don't want to call her fodder, but let's do this. Let's swap out Monaco temporarily, right? And let's bring in CL, because we're not really using her for much. Or actually Loon, because we haven't really optimized her in a while. And then I can just take these off, right? Excuse me. I can take these off, and then I can just use her to farm like additional Pictos for a little while. And that way I can get some, or farm Lumina, right? And then I can use those later when the time comes. I think I was saying last time that one huge quality of life improvement would just be a little bit of tweaks to the management of Pictos and gear and stuff like that, because I would love to be able to create presets for my various characters to be able to then recall them, because oftentimes, you know, like off stream I would spend 15 or 20 minutes going through all the Pictos and all the options for a given character and feel like I gotten things optimized, but then I might like change one thing or make a mistake or like swap something out because I wanted to experiment, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh shit, I don't remember, like I can't remember how I optimized it. I got things so fine-tuned before, and now I can't remember how I managed to pull that off. So it's like, shit, I wish I could just recall the preset, you know? But this is kind of a way around it, because if I'm not using those other characters as actively, right, like I can just kind of use them to farm up the Pictos and experiment with things, and then I can swap back to my quote-unquote main characters later. It feels bad calling like Luna and CL not main characters, because they're all very special to me. But in terms of combat optimization, I think I must have just fucked up Lune's character build or something, or like I didn't understand something about the way that she's meant to be played, because she's, when I play with her here, it just feels like she's lagging so far behind the other characters. Like she can do damage, she can accomplish things if I play my cards right, so to speak, but it's also like I have to line things up kind of perfectly, and I have to really make sure that I'm, I don't know, that I have my cadence down right, and even then, it's like it'll take several turns for her to pull off something that a character can in like 1 or 2 turns, right? So I don't know, it's probably just a lack of experience, probably just a lack of optimization on my part, like min-maxing her, but I feel like without taking more time to figure out what I did wrong there, then, which I don't necessarily want to do on stream, then she just is not keeping up. Same thing with CL, you know? But I've seen people do really well with CL. Like, I think she has a reputation as being a bit of a damage beast, so I'm chalking it up to my own lack of experience more than anything else. Saria says, I am well. Oh, good. I'm really glad to hear that. And yes, my spine is all good for what it is. Well, yes, we got the whole internship figured out, and yes, you said it perfectly. Okay, excellent. Whoa, this is fucking beautiful. Oh my god, I love this shit. This reminds me of, like, the underground in Elden Ring. Wow, this is so cool. I'm really glad to hear that. As you know, I have a bad memory, especially when I'm multitasking, so I might ask the same question multiple times. It's not because I'm not paying attention when I talk to you, I promise. It's just my, like, scatterbrained self. But good. I'm really glad that everything's going okay. Congratulations again, both on, you know, getting through the whole surgery, but also in terms of, like, approaching the new chapter, new opportunity, so to speak, with the internship. It sounds fucking awesome. Wow, I'm constantly stunned by the fact that we're still this late in the game, but they're still, like, taking my breath away with, you know, 90 hours in, they're still surprising me with not only their environment design, but their monster design as well. I mean, like, look at that fucking thing. It's so creepy. But I love how, like, I remember saying before that I thought the shards of ice or the icicles, whatever these are supposed to be, looked a little bit janky. Like they looked like they appeared very suddenly. They seem not janky, just a little bit artificial, a little bit out of place. But now they've reincorporated that and made them look like these beautiful, almost like long exposure. You know, if you do a long exposure with a photograph while the sky is like turning overhead, so to speak. I'm explaining it wrong, but like, you know what I mean? If you point your camera at the North Star and you leave it there for a while, it'll look like the photo that you wind up collecting will look like the stars are kind of spiraling around the North Star and leaving traces or something like that. I'm not remembering the exact position that you have to put the camera in, but hopefully that's making some sense, right? It'll like leave those streaks all the way across the sky, and it kind of looks like that, but it's just been frozen in place. Like these are comets or something like that that are kind of streaking through, but then they've been like reincorporated, reimagined as part of the cave formation, which is so fucking creative. I love this shit. I love how this team is like constantly able to come up with shit like this just over and over again. I heard that. Oh, one second. I don't know if you guys heard, but I think the developer of what's it called? Arc Raiders, is it? Was like accusing the game's like award shows of being rigged because like the golden joysticks of being rigged because of how many awards this game run. Was like super upset about it, and was saying that like if the same thing happens at the Game Awards coming up this weekend, that'll be kind of proof that. One sec. Nice. It'll be kind of proof in his mind that the whole industry is corrupt or something else, because you know no game deserves this kind, like this much praise. There must be something going on behind the scenes or whatever. And I'm like, okay, yeah. First of all, any kind of like games industry event like that with that amount of money behind it is probably corrupt to a certain extent. Like I'm not going to defend it inherently. I mean, once you get that amount of money involved in anything, it's like hard to keep your hands clean. But at the same time, like also, wow, cope of the century. Like, yeah, Arc Raiders is a decent game, I guess. Like, it's definitely of its time. You know, it's definitely participating in a trend, and it's doing that pretty effectively. But I'm sorry, Clair Obscur is a magnificent piece of art, and also just a genuinely really fucking fun game. And there's no way that you're gonna get around that, especially not by like slandering other developers. Like, I'm sorry, there's a place in the games industry for sure for us to be critical in a constructive fashion. Like, nobody's under any obligation to like anybody else's game. Nobody's under any obligation to like any particular genre or to support any particular company or entity or anything like that. But at the same time, it's like, you know, if you're just gonna whine about it, it's not gonna get you anywhere, you know. And I think really it's almost like a compliment to Clair Obscur's accomplishments that people are getting mad about it. I don't like that kind of language, like the "hey QQ more" kind of thing. But at the same time, I'm also like, well, yeah. Well, sometimes when you take risks and do something really cool, it pays off. So maybe think about that and take that lesson to heart going in the future. Saria says, I fucking... Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Oh, wait, no. I hate the Dissandras. Aline is such an abusive piece of shit. Clea's a jerk, but at least she's telling her sister, do what makes you happy, even if she said she'd let her die. Yeah, man, I can't wait to... I think some of that kind of washed over me a bit in the first intro... Or in the first, like, conclusion of the story. So I have to... I hear there's a second ending, although thankfully it hasn't been spoiled for me. So I'm hoping to go back and, like, have some more context for some of that stuff. But yeah, from what I saw, it seems like a very toxic situation, to say the least. Painted Verso is a liar and selfish and committed genocide. I see. I can't speak for outside world Verso because he's dead, and Renoir is a control freak. Yeah, it makes you kind of wonder, like, what was the terroir, you know, like what was the environment that wound up leading to this sort of thing? Like, what do they all have in common apart from just being part of the same like genetic family that led to this terrible situation? Like, why is everybody in this particular family that messed up? And I'm guessing we're gonna have to learn a little bit more about the background with the writers or whatever, in order to fully understand that. I still don't really understand what their role in the story is, though. Don't spoil it for me. I'm happy to wait to find out. Not just a control freak. He's the kind that goes, as a father, if something ever happened to my daughter, I would commit insert unspeakable war crime here. Um, this is irrational. You're insane. Yeah, it's like, it's funny. Going back through the Witcher books, there's this trend that Geralt has of like basically saying, he's sort of a father figure in more ways than one throughout the books, and part of the way in which he attempts to be a protective father and take care of the people he loves is to push them away from him, because I think he thinks I'm going to be like inevitably descending into like danger and chaos, and so I have to, like, I'm cursed, I'm a mutant, I'm destined to walk this awful path. Although the concept of immune to freeze, that's nice. The concept of destiny and what that really means kind of gets interrogated over the course of the story, but he keeps trying to like basically force people away from him and deny them their autonomy to make their own decisions about whether or not they want to join him. And he keeps using the excuse of, well, I'm protecting you, but in a way he is, but he's also like I said, kind of denying them their autonomy. He's not actually respecting them as individuals, as adults, and he's not treating them like giving them the benefit of the doubt that they can decide to that they're qualified to make decisions like that about their own safety and the risks that they want to take. So he really is trying to control them out of fear, and it is also out of love. It's not just fear, but fear is a part of his decision making. And so I think he sees himself as this stoic altruist who, not altruist, but like a stoic kind of person who has to be the recipient of harshness. He has to kind of suffer and endure, and he has to do it alone. And that's how he thinks he can contribute. He can make other people's lives better who love him by staying away from them, right? So it's kind of like an almost photo negative of what we see here in this game, where he is, I guess, like more trying to take the burden onto himself, but even Renoir seems to kind of be doing the same thing. He's like, oh, look at me, look at how great I am for doing this horrible thing. It's actually totally fine that I'm doing the horrible thing because I'm doing it for someone else. So, whether I enjoy it or not, whether I feel self-righteous or not, whether I feel empowered when I do it, doesn't matter because I'm doing it for someone else. But it's like, who asked, motherfucker? Like, when you do shit like that, you're, like, intentionally or otherwise, you're making somebody else complicit in your horrible actions. And if you're doing that without their consent, you're saying that, like, they're not qualified to decide whether or not you do this. It's pretty terrible, actually, when you think about it. So I can see where your frustration is coming from, to put it mildly. That's just my interpretation, though. Then Saria says, oh yeah, I know what you mean, I do astrophotography. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, sorry, I imagine that it's cringy for you sometimes. I mean, we talked about the stuff like the like supergravity, or what was the thing we were talking about the other day, where it was like when people use this particular term, it's like you always cringe because they don't understand at all like what it actually means. They just kind of throw it out there. I guess that's true of a lot of things within the like scaling community, so to speak. But yeah. Anyway, I always appreciate the insight you share in that regard, like on those topics. I feel like I've learned a lot about things that I normally wouldn't have thought to look up since starting to talk to people more on stream. Like, I wouldn't normally be inclined to look up, like, I just wouldn't occur to me to look up string theory, but since I had the reason to for the video, we wound up having a fun discussion about that. I love this little patch of like iridescence. It's beautiful. I think I missed a diary or journal entry up here, so let's go check that out real quick. Yes, cool.
Thibaut, expédition 51. Peu après l'aube. La mort de Maxime a été une délivrance car il souffrait énormément. et nous n'étions pas en mesure de le soulager. Demain viendra, pour toi comme pour moi. Puisse-t-il nous apporter la paix, et pas seulement des regrets. Ça, personne ne pourra jamais le comprendre. Du moins pas comme les autres membres de l'expédition. Maxime, Clément, Fabien, Guillaume, Carla. Nous sommes liés par quelque chose de bien plus fort que l'amour, ou les liens du sang. Il y a entre nous comme une union sacrée et une confiance inébranlable née de toutes les épreuves que nous avons surmontées. Chacun d'entre nous a mis sa vie entre les mains des autres, et il n'existe pas de meilleur moyen de se rapprocher. Je ne suis plus perdu. Je sais désormais qui je suis, mais aussi de quoi je suis capable. La vie n'est pas facile. Elle ne l'a jamais été, d'ailleurs. Mais mes amis sont là, à mes côtés. Et cela fait toute la différence.
I love all the different ways that people comment on both the trauma that they've gone through and then the ways that they process it and find ways to either cope with it or embrace it or fight back against it. Some are just bewildered by it. Some are just confused by it. Others like rage against the dying of the light. Others find their peace. Like it's very, I feel like it's very genuine, you know, for lack of a better word. It's just, we all handle trauma differently. We all find different ways of coping and connecting, and the ways in which it shapes our worldviews and the way that we interact with other people are going to vary drastically from person to person. So it's really cool to see. It feels very intimate. You know, we're only getting a few seconds, a few minutes with these people that we never even meet personally, and yet it feels like you have an important connection with them by finding these very heartfelt, very sincere, very important messages that they left behind. Also, hey Rioman, sorry I didn't say hi to you before. Hope you're doing okay. Thank you so much for stopping by this evening. Let's see. Rioman says Rioman versus Andrew Tate in a kickboxing fight. I mean, like, everything I've heard about that guy, he sounds like a blowhard. He sounds like he's just completely, like, kind of a fraud who's managed to skate through most of his career by just, like, passing bluff checks, essentially. From everything I've heard, like, he's a huge piece of shit. So, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't, ever place money on him in any kind of bet whatsoever. So, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you guys were friendly. For once, we actually have friends. Humans, would you care for a dance? Yes, obviously. Rejoice to know that humans care for our way of expression and battle. Some of us don't want to care about battle. How can you not care about the dance between life and death? It is thrilling, elegant, and the most intimate encounter you could ever have. I see. I was dancing during battle. Well, Mael should know. She already has that kind of dancer's flourish to her attacks and actions. You have much to learn. Allow me to demonstrate. Dance with me. Parry to the rhythm of my strikes. Then you might witness true bliss. Excuse me. Okay, here we go. Oh, of course it has to be Loon that gets selected. Well... I think I was watching footage back of me fighting this thing, like one of the other danseuses, and I like couldn't figure out how I managed to actually get through it. It was crazy. All right, let's try again. Oh, should I talk to these guys first? Let's see. I guess not. Oh, she specifically wants Loon to dance with her, I see. Okay. So let's make sure I get rid of... Oh no, okay. I did get rid of the one. So now let's see. I'm guessing I have to like parry every single attack though, but... Okay, here we go.
Prête à esquiver. Il faut continuer.
Damn, this is intense.
Je m'en occupe.
I gotta do it again. Okay. I need to turn the volume up to be able to really get this. Yep. Poon Onodera versus Griffith in morality. Oh, I need to keep going with Poon. I haven't gotten that far. But so far everything, like, I've just gotten through the first chapter ish, and Poon seems relatively not passive exactly, but hasn't really taken a a role of being very authoritative in the story just yet. So let's see.
Il faut continuer.
Jesus Christ. It was really intense. Okay. Oh my god. Keep going, okay. Oh my god, it was so close. Alright, one more time. Let's try it again. That one always messes me up. Okay, sorry I'm being quiet, I just gotta focus. Try it again. Why does that, like, higher one always mess me up? I don't know. So I will say that I want to give the game the benefit of the doubt, because oftentimes when I get frustrated with the game and then I come back and I look at it again, I find out that the reason why I was frustrated was actually due to my own just like missing something, right? But I do still feel like the audio cues that I'm relying on to parry are inconsistent and I can't quite get them down right. I'm gonna try something actually. I'm gonna try to keep my eyes closed. Yeah, okay. I see. I'm trying really hard to figure out when to listen for the various audio cues. The thing is, in this particular, so I guess this fight really wants me to focus on visual cues, to do the parrying as opposed to audio, because I'm not hearing like the little whoop that I normally would. Oh my god, come on.
Je m'en occupe.
Try again. This is really fucking hard, holy shit. I think that they're using a similar kind of kick sound to the like whoosh as they are in the moment where the ball forms, so it's like confusing as to which sound I'm supposed to be listening for. And my eyesight's not very good, so I'm having trouble tracking the visuals as well. Okay, let's try. Let's see if we can get it this time. Okay, I think I found a strategy. Let's try this again. Shit, man. Okay, I'm getting closer, I think. Okay, I'm starting to learn the patterns. There's only a few different ones. I just gotta learn to recognize the tells. That was a little too early. I got that. Okay, I'm starting to get it. Okay, I think a couple more tries I can do it. Famous last words, of course. That one always throws me off. Okay, let's try again. Try again. We can do this.
Innocent. Ok. Ok. Innocent. Bien. Innocent. Il faut continuer.
Yes, there we go. Nice. Very, very satisfying. It's weird. I kind of got into the state, which I think was probably what they were going for, where I stopped like looking for the cues. I stopped like looking for the details, and instead I just kind of felt it out. And gradually, over the course of a few minutes, I started to develop like a sense for, oh, that was a little too early, that was a little too late, which is really, really cool. It felt like I was actually learning the dance moves, and through intuition and like responsiveness, as opposed to like study and memorization. At a certain point, you just kind of get caught up in the dance itself, and it becomes very difficult to like focus on memorize, at least for my brain, on memorizing and like executing on that pattern. But instead, it was just like, oh, the flow of it starts to kick in. That's so smart. That's such a smartly designed encounter. Sorry for the gross eating noises. I didn't get a chance to eat dinner yet. So. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Holy shit, that's cool. Oh, that's amazing. Look at that. This is interesting. I wonder why she, of all people, is getting this particular outfit. Although, I'm guessing it has to do with her connection to the Siren as well, right? Because didn't she also have like kind of a special reaction to the Siren during that fight? Very, very cool. Gotta remember to go back and find that door to the manor as well. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry I left some messages. She says, yes, I hate it so much. I see why Claire doesn't respect them and calls them by their names. They don't deserve respect as parents. Yeah, that's fair. I am removing her from the canvas. She's been in too long. Renoir, she has been inside so long because you're fucking... Sorry, I can't read tonight. Renoir, she has been inside so long because you're fucking threatening to destroy it. She was managing her time until you busted up in there threatening to nuke the fucking universe. Yeah, that'll do it. That would set somebody off, huh? And then Aline is no better. You're in a completely alternate reality and you create a copy of your disfigured daughter and the son you lost, and you chose to recreate your daughter with her burned, disfigured form where it hurts to breathe, talk, and she can hardly see. You don't put her paintings on walls because they're not good enough. Oh, interesting. So the painted form of Mael that we see, or of Alicia that we see, is actually not Alicia herself, because that would be that would be her, right? And then they kind of merge at the end. That's so the kind of, she painted her own daughter in pain. Wow, that's really fucked up actually when you think about it. Fuck this family except Mael. I love you, baby girl. I will protect her. Mael is great. Mael is fucking awesome. I mean, like, all the characters actually in the painted world are incredible. And the villains are, they're so complex. They're so compelling, you know? Their motivations and their, I guess, like, intrigue, for lack of a better word, are so unique. At least, I can't really think of another parallel of another series that feels like it quite deals with these topics in this way, you know what I mean? Ryuman says, I read Goodbye Aeries recently, 4 out of 10 manga. Oh, that's a shame. I think I remember you mentioning that it was on your list and you didn't like it. What didn't you like about it? If you feel like sharing more, I'd be curious to learn why it didn't resonate with you. Do you think it's just like objectively like not all that good in terms of storytelling and art or whatever else, or is it more like you just personally didn't have fun with it? Yeah. This world, pun not intended for once, really draws you in, and really has a, like, it gets its hooks into you, if that makes sense. It's been a long time since I had this kind of emotional connection to a world and its characters. Like, obviously, you know, I'm a big fan of the Souls games, and I've been replaying some of Dark Souls 3 recently, and I have been having a wonderful time with that. And the thing that I enjoy the most about those games is probably the fact that the world itself feels like a character, and that character is always incredibly compelling. But it's been a while since I've had that I've also had that kind of reaction to the characters and narrative in a game outside of like Deltarune recently, and the way that those two things are integrated. It's been a while. The Outer Worlds was a game that kind of affected me profoundly recently as well. But that again, it's like the game itself is kind of, or like the world itself in which the game takes place is the quote unquote real character. That's oversimplifying it, of course, but at the same time, it's like, yes, there are things that happen. There is lore. There are characters that you meet and talk to and stuff. But really, the quote unquote real character is the universe that you're exploring, right? Sorry, says, no, they didn't fuse. Painted Alicia is still there. You can actually go find her. Oh, shit. Okay. So, but wasn't there a scene where, like, the two of them kind of touch? And then Mael gets the gray hair? And then she was talking to somebody else in the party. And I felt like she had this line of dialogue with the other person in the party where they were like, she was able to recall both Alicia's memories and Mael's memories. So you're saying that in addition to that, so Mael remembers who she was before coming into the... So who we are playing as now is actual real world Alicia, who was brought... I'm so confused. No, that doesn't make any sense. Because Mael was like born as a baby in this world, right? And she actually lived out her like childhood and infancy in the painting. So I thought we were playing as a painted character, and then you meet Alicia, with the girl with the burned face, and that is actually that doesn't make sense either. I'm so confused. I'm sorry. I'm also just kind of distracted by like being drawn into the world and all that. Oops. Yeah, let me try this again. Let me see if I can actually figure out what the fuck is going on. So, there was a girl named Alicia, and she was... What am I supposed to do here? Oops. Okay. Probably not that. There was a girl named Alicia. She was a member of the Descentre family. There was a fire in her house or whatever, right? And in the fire, Verso died, and she burnt her face. Verso saved her by pushing her out of the way, for which the rest of the family was upset with her. However, her mom and dad could like paint worlds that had sentient people in them, like basically create like painted universes. And so her mom would go inside the painting, because she basically painted like a version of Verso in there, and she would go spend time with Verso and spend time in the painted world. And because of this, she spent more and more time like away from her family. Initially, it was just a little bit of time, but then she started to get more consumed, or at least her husband, Renoir, thought that she was getting more and more consumed. Faire du ski. That's somehow cute. But like, so she spent more time inside the painting, and Renoir was concerned that like they were going to spend too much time in the painting and kind of get consumed. And I think he says something along the lines of like, your lifespan is being shortened if you spend too much time in there or whatever. So he goes into the painting to try to get her out. But in doing so, he will wind up destroying the internal world and killing everybody in there. And so Aline, doesn't want that to happen, wants the world to continue and to persist and to be able to continue spending time there. So they fight, and what's his name gets kind of like sealed away, so he can kind of like project himself. So there's like the painted version of himself that can go around and do shit, but his actual real self is trapped and can't really do stuff. He's like stuck in the island. And then Mael, actually, you know what? I want to pause. Because I realize that I'm just kind of rambling and I'm kind of ignoring what's happening in the game. I also don't want to make you explain everything. I want to see if I can puzzle it out myself. So let me just pause there. I want to wait until after I have like seen the final cutscene and then go back and try and puzzle it out, and then I'm gonna run it by you if you're cool with that and see how much of it I got right, other than just like quizzing you on this stuff, if that's cool. But thank you for trying to help me understand, despite obviously me not tracking it very well. And so Rioman says, obviously not objectively, and I can see why somebody else would like it. I like the first half, but it gets worse later, especially with the reveal at the end. Okay, that's a shame. Yeah, it kind of sucks when you get like hooked into something, and then over time it just feels less compelling, or it doesn't like fulfill its promises. As one way to put it. Like, you're kind of expecting to get a particular kind of experience out of it, and it just, maybe the author didn't have the same kind of vision in mind that you might have had hopes for the series. That's happened to me quite a few times. I'm not gonna mention any names, but Attack on Titan is one of them. Oops, I gave it away. Oops. But Painted Alicia is Aline's creation, just like Vers and the rest of the Lumerians. Oh, okay, gotcha. That does make more sense, actually. Why did I do that? That was so stupid. Okay, she's actually not lagging that far behind, I guess. I don't know, I feel like I'm very inconsistent with my performance with Luna and CL. There's a character called Man in the Painting in the house in Fata Morgana. Another reason why I need to get into that work of art. It's been recommended to me by multiple people, and it does sound very, very cool. So I think, with the holidays coming up, I should have some time to catch up on my backlog a little bit, and I think I will need to include that in said backlog. Wow, do you ever... I just got like this massive wave of tiredness. I think I was coasting on a bit of an adrenaline rush today at work, and now that I actually skipped lunch, and so now that I've actually had some food and I'm kind of settling in, I'm like, all the tiredness is catching back up with me, and I'm like zonked. So I'll try not to ramble too much, but no promises tonight. This might be kind of an incoherent stream. But that being said, I mean, like, oh shit. Well, I was about to say this is going very, very quickly, as we're just kind of grinding through a lot of this stuff. But at the same time, it's kind of nice to just be able to kind of soak in the sights and, not worry too much about, all these intense battles, and have a couple that kind of show up here and there to mix things up. But also it's nice to just kind of soak in the atmosphere, and fill in things in our task list, so to speak. Probably not even going to use a lot of these, but I like the idea of just having them available and leveled up, not unattended to, And we have been accumulating some resources for weapons, so that's good. Going to be doing a, that's an interesting bit of storytelling there. Going to be doing some leveling up pretty soon. What's kind of fun is, or like, something that just occurred to me in terms of the game's difficulty progression. I felt like everything was pretty linear and pretty solid and consistent for a while, and then I feel like there was a massive, like, you go from capping out at 9, so like the first 50 hours of the game, you slowly get up to being able to consistently deal 10,000 damage per hit, and then all of a sudden, over the course of like 5 to 10 hours, you can get up to like multiple hundreds of thousands very quickly. And if you don't hit that consistently, all of a sudden it feels like you're lagging vastly far behind. Like, let's see how much damage I did with that one attack, right? So 323,000, and that was like just with the first thing that I did. Anything less than that's why, like, I can do 100,000 with a combo of Loons or CLs, and it just doesn't feel all that impressive anymore. And so initially I was like, well, the difficulty curve of this game, or like the progression curve or whatever, is a little broken, right? Because it's so fast, so jarring, so much. But then it occurred to me, like, not a whole lot of games have an exponential difficulty curve or exponential progression curve, now that I think about it. In fact, it's usually kind of the opposite, right? Like, when you start out, you are usually leveling up very quickly, so that like reinforcement schedule is fast, and you gain access to more and more skill points earlier on to kind of expand your options. You get like plenty of new tools and toys to play with, and then that kind of tapers off, and you have to really grind for some of those last levels. But it feels like the leveling progression in this game never really slowed all that much. It was never too crazy to begin with either. So leveling in and of itself has been pretty steady. But then when it comes to the actual power increase, man, there was like this exponential leap in just like numerical output, and then that would be kind of curtailed by enemies also being exponentially stronger, and then there was this back and forth where we would just engage in these massive leaps backward and forward in terms of how we were keeping up with the challenges in our environment. And that's so cool. It kind of breaks the conventions that I'm used to of there being this kind of smooth linear progression, or like a decaying exponential progression. It just like ramped way the fuck up. And honestly, that makes sense narratively as well. Oh, the petanque is playing the piano. Oh, I love it. Sorry to interrupt you, little guy. That honestly makes so much sense when you consider that, like, the deeper and deeper you get into understanding the nature of the story, the closer you're coming to also understanding the nature of this world and like acquiring power-ups that are directly related to the nature of the painting, like the inversion and the painted power and stuff like that. So it makes sense that you, like, as you're kind of taking the reins of the world itself, that you just start getting totally busted in power, but that also, you know, the world itself might start to push back against you in a more like violent and dramatic way than you've ever seen before. So I'm really liking that. It's very much something that's new to me, but something that I am very fond of. So let's see. What can I want to see what she's actually capable of. What happens if I just start with Stormcaller? Where's she actually at? Oh, right, that's the... I forgot. That's the per turn ability. They're probably not even going to get there. I do feel like maybe this is just me, like my own particular sensibility or sense of difficulty or whatever, but I do feel like those like the jump attacks are almost like free hit waves, like free AP waves, so to speak, in that unless they've been combined as like part of a combo with a bunch of other stuff going on, I've never really struggled to dodge those attacks. And it feels like it's just kind of throwing you a bone and giving you free AP, which is, hey, you know, I'm not going to complain about it. It's totally fine. But it is kind of funny in that I think the game has done an excellent job of having you progress with pretty much every other mechanic. It just feels like the jumping, apart from getting worked into some boss combos here or there, hasn't really grown as much as some of the other things have. Maybe with, like... It was used pretty well in the Siren boss fight, if I remember correctly. But it feels like there might have been some room to grow there. Not the end of the world, but yeah, just kind of interesting. There we go. Good start. Oh, this is going to be... He's going to be one of those, huh? Okay, I think we can do this. Well, let's start with Stendhal. See how well that goes. I can't believe I slept on this for so long. Oh, yes. Yeah, we're fine. Holy shit, that did over 1 million. You see what I mean? Like, Loon can do pretty well, but, like, that's just... Why is Stendhal so... Like, why is it doing that much damage? It's so... It seems like it has such a specific utility, right? It seems like it's supposed to be used in conjunction with shields or whatever else. But it's just objectively, I think, the most damaging ability that we have, regardless of that extra effect, so to speak. And I totally slept on it. I would not have tried it out unless you mentioned it, Saria, so I'm not sure what I missed there. I think I maybe don't fully grok the underlying principle of it, I suppose you could say. Wow, I can hear the tiredness in my voice. Holy shit, I need to get some sleep tonight. But anyway, let's continue. Oh, I should check my phone. 1 second. I gotta make sure that I'm not getting any notifications. Okay, here we go. Don't let me forget to go back and find the door to the manor as well. I've been wandering around. He still likes trains. Wait, so... Do we know how old Verso is, when he died? Because that seems like sort of a childish thing, right? Like he still likes trains. And we do have the little boy, like the little painted boy version of him. That's like, this is my train station, so I wonder if that got kind of reincorporated. Okay, I know I'm supposed to go in there, but I need to go back and find that door, because otherwise I'm going to forget. 1 second. My head canon says Saria, it's because Maëlla's a painter, so she just gets busted. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like, you would figure that, whatever ability, her parents have would be accessible to her to a certain extent, especially if she has trained in that specific art. Like, even if she didn't specifically train in the art of painting magical paintings, she's from a line of people that can do that, and she trained in the art of painting in and of itself, and so those two things overlapping makes perfect sense. I'm probably being stupid, but I need to go back to where I was before, so bear with me while I get my bearings here. Curious if you guys are planning on playing anything over the holidays. I was gonna check out Metroid Prime 4. I think I still will, but unfortunately it seems to have gotten some not very good reviews, and it's very disappointing, but at the same time kind of not surprising. I mean, as a developer, I actually I've had the opportunity a couple of times to work on games that I was a huge fan of the franchise or of the developer, and those opportunities didn't work out. Like, I didn't get the job, so to speak. And at the time I was here we go. At the time I was pretty disappointed, because I was like, oh no, I missed out this opportunity, I'm not gonna be able to contribute to this thing. But then the games came out and they were like kind of bad, and I was like, oh, that's actually kind of a blessing in disguise, right? Like, not only did I not have to, not only do I still have the privilege of being able to experience this game as like a customer or like a consumer myself without having it spoiled by having worked on it, right? I also, it must have been like very difficult, very emotionally challenging and creatively challenging to be a part of that team for so many years and just see things not work out time and time again, because they've been working on Metroid Prime 4 for like a decade, right? And I'm sure the people on that team, plenty of them, like pushed themselves really hard, worked very hard, and tried to like make the best thing that they possibly could have. Probably a lot of people on the team were fans of Metroid and wanted to bring it to life. And so if the game, I don't actually know if it's bad, like I wouldn't discourage anybody from checking it out, but if it turns out that it is kind of a disappointment, then it's like, you know, it's in spite of the fact that people like dedicated so much of themselves to it. And to have something that's that like special and precious to you ruined, for lack of a better word, by like the politics and the budget and the lack of direction and all of the shenanigans that kind of come along with it. I mean, I would prefer to just stay on the outside. It's kind of like a privilege, though, in a certain sense, because there's the door. Because, like, for every game that comes out, like, people have to suffer through that, you know? Like, and I think as a developer, you should be willing to... fucking snowblind. You should be willing to understand that that's probably going to fall to you at some point. And honestly, like, our profession isn't exactly an altruistic one, but at the same time, like, on every team, if you position yourself appropriately, you will have the opportunity to save somebody else a headache. And after a while, you know, even despite the political bullshit or whatever else, it's you stop worrying about that, and you stop spending more time focusing on like what you can do to just make the lives of people around you easier, and just forget about all the like higher level politics stuff. And then when you bind together, that's how like great things get made. Not to be too pretentious about it or whatever, but I also love that we're getting to see some of the concept art in here. I think that's very clever. In most games, like, having concept art or models like kind of put into the game like this would feel out of place, but it feels perfect in this game. So Sorry says Verso is in his mid-20s at most because Maëlla is 16, Verso is the middle child, Claire is the oldest. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yep, I guess it would help if I paid attention to the details now. Ryoman says, I'm planning to start reading Shamo. Someone told me that protagonist Ryo Narushima is similar to me personality-wise. Oh, interesting, cool. Yeah, I hope it goes well. Let me know what you think about it. I think was it you, Saria, who last time said that, or one of the previous times said that I sounded like what's his name, the main character from How to Train Your Dragon, Hiccup, and I listened to some scenes and I from the movie, and I couldn't see the resemblance, but I decided to take it as a compliment anyway. The song is called Clair, Don't Pull Your Sister's Hair. It's kind of funny. Take time and admire the artistry here. I love this kind of Rorschach adjacent pattern there. So many little details. There's a little bright red cap there. I feel like we can learn so much about the characters and the world that they create. So they actually like had their own art and their own sculpture outside of the painting, and then they... So I wonder, do they make the sculptures outside and then like throw them into the painting? Like characters going into like a Super Mario level in Super Mario World? Or in Super Mario 64 when he goes into the paintings? Kind of like that. I really do love this location as well. Yes, it's a compliment. I love Hiccup. Everyone loves Hiccup. Oh, okay, good. I thought so. He seems like a very genuine kind of character. I thought you said that that like my voice reminded me you of him or something, and I didn't hear the resemblance to that. But if it's more like personality-wise, then I'll take that as a compliment for sure. I'd like to think that I would be a decent dragon friend. Like I am happy to make friends with various odd critters. I actually have I worked in a zoo previously, and I worked specifically with reptiles, so I wanted to be a herpetologist for a while, but ultimately it's a very niche field, you know. So the actual like what you do day to day when studying lizards is not as much fun as just hanging out with them. And I don't know, I think that there was some research at the time when I was interested in into like blood work for like reptile blood for medical applications, and like skin, like how they regenerate and stuff like that. There's definitely like areas of active research, but it's, you know, not exactly a teeming, thriving field where you're going to find it easy to find funding readily. So decided to pursue something else. Let's see. Yeah, I probably am not in the right brain space to be micromanaging points here, but oh, can we get all the way up to 99? Cool, we actually have a maxed out stat. That's awesome. You know, honestly, I think we're going to start dumping into agility now, because that's also going to be very useful, just having her being able to attack more and more. CL won't worry about too much. Loon, Verso, yeah, let's get him up there as well. Just have him nuking things. And what about skills? Dr. Connor's research. Can you remind me of what that is? I think you mentioned that name before, but I can't recall off the top of my head. I apologize. Okay, so I'm going to leave the skills management for later, just because I don't think I'm going to be able to make very coherent decisions about that stuff right now, and just continue on our merry way up the mountain. Ryoman says, so far, most similar to me characters are Punpun, Obito, Lee Woonjin, and Friend. Where's Friend from? I don't recognize that name. But, Obito is a little concerning. In what way specifically, dare I ask? I think we talked about this before, right? More like his overall, like, worldview and philosophy, something like that. Dr. Connors is a Marvel character. He's a Spider-Man anti-villain. He becomes a lizard. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yep. That makes more sense. It's kind of revealing my lack of comics knowledge at this point. I will leave it to my partner to be more informed about the Marvel universe in particular. That's going to be her domain of expertise. Although, she randomly picked up the Witcher books and is reading through some of those, and I'm a huge fan, as you've probably heard me gush about them. And basically, it was on the tail of watching the recent season, which started off very strong, but ultimately, I feel like it was pretty terrible in a lot of ways, unfortunately. And so we were both kind of curious to visit the books for various reasons, and it's nice. It's really cool to be able to share it with her because I'm a huge fan, and also, like, to be frank, I do have, like, I am curious about the portrayal of women from a woman's perspective in the story, and it's nice to be able to hear that directly. Like, I think there are parts of the story which are pretty objectively, like, pro-feminist, and then there are others that feel a little bit more antiquated, so to speak. But my perspective is always going to be, like, not limited exactly, maybe that's not the right word for it, but it's going to be biased by my own perception, my own experiences. So having, like, a woman read the story, not that all women are a monolith or anything like that, but you know what I mean, like, having that perspective to kind of counterbalance my own, I think has been helpful, or like a nice insight. Because sometimes I'll actually have a pretty hair trigger about things that I consider to be misogynistic, and then I'll run them by my partner, and she'll be like, no, chill, it's fine, like, this is actually good for X, Y, or Z reason that I didn't quite understand. Being a little bit overzealous, I think. But yeah, it's been nice to share that. I think I'm kind of going around in circles, sorry. Friend is from 20th Century Boys, same author as Monster. Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, I am about, I think, a third of the way through Monster, and I'm loving it so far. And I didn't realize that 20th Century Boys was the same author, but I feel like I've heard a lot of buzz and a lot of positive things about 20th Century Boys, and now that just makes me want to check it out even more. But I have to finish Monster first, I think. Okay, so how the fuck do we get? Yeah, here we go. I'm back on track. Glad I remembered to come up here. I remember stopping by here in my other playthrough, and I was like, couldn't remember if we had gone here, because there's an area that looks a lot like it that's part of the, like, final ascent, so to speak, up to the maybe I can skip some of these, up to that, like, gauntlet towards the painter's fight. So I thought it was possible that we had already seen some of this stuff, but I'm glad that we're taking the time to actually go back and verify that. And I think I'll go to the giant, like, cylinder spiral thing in the middle next, and then Golgra, because I think she's Golgra, and then the serpent thing are probably going to be the last two things before the gauntlet. So we'll see how much of that we can get through tonight. It's probably not going to be a fucking 4-hour stream tonight. I'm, like, starting to nod off in my seat, so sorry, I'm probably going to cut it a little short. Oh, wait a second, I forgot. I should go back and upgrade some of my weapons before I forget, and I think I have an expedition resource to do as well. So let's see. Glaceso. 1 perfection on critical hit. Self-heal by 2%, dealing critical hit. Counterattack is always critical hit. That's pretty cool, but I don't think it's quite as good as my Dualiso. I think I'm going to stick with that build. Can't lose perfection. No damage increase from rank. Oh yeah, I didn't want to do that. So, of course, Mael has to have the number one thing. Medalum. I think we're going to keep going with that. Jarum. No, I don't think so. Glycum. I love that name there. Allies recover. Status effects. Yeah. I think I'm not going to spend too much time here. I think, Medalum has carried us this far, so we're just going to keep coming into it. Ooh. Oh, I love it. We're getting it to level 33 for Expedition 33. That's perfect. Yeah. So she's going to get the honor of the first weapon mastery. That's perfect. And it actually scales on defense, so this is great. I'll have to put some more points into defense as well. And now we can spend the rest getting this up to par. It's going to take a while, it looks like, to get it up to that level, but still, I feel like our damage potential just went way up. And I'll save the grandiose ones, but yeah, that's pretty great. And then I have another expedition resource to level up. I think so. I just have one. Well, we know who's getting it. Wait a minute, I have 174? How the fuck do I have 174? Okay. I had no idea I was, like, that far ahead. Holy shit. And I thought I had a revived him. Wow, that's crazy. I've just been totally neglecting this. Okay. I want to get Monaco and Verso up because they need the boost more so than Mael. I think I'm just going to commit to these characters for the playthrough at this point. So let's get her up to a nice round number. And then let's do these evenly. Oh man, I just need one more. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. I can't believe I was sitting on all that stuff this whole time. What the fuck? Just not paying attention to that. Okay, well let me throw some stuff in here because I have so much now. Let's see. Ascending alphabetical point cost. Let's just go to the top. Cheater, always play twice in a row. Yeah, sure. Oh wait, let's see what else we got. Revive with 100% health once per battle. Base attack is 1 extra hit. When applying a burn stack, apply a second one. Let's see. Energizing start, 1 AP on battle start, energizing turn, and healing mark. Or attack lifesteal. That's pretty cool. Yep. Same thing with him. I mean, I'm going to optimize all this later, but I can't really do it with my headspace right now. Let's see. Do I get... Oh, I already have combo attack 3. Okay. Second chance, revive with 100%. Let's try that. And then effective heal, +1 shield is not activated by shield, any turn start. Yeah, sure. That sounds pretty cool. What else? Auto rush. Sounds good. And for you, my friend, let's see. Let's look for some defensive stuff. Base attack is 1 extra. That's not too great. Revive. That's great. And base shield. Perfect. That's actually really huge. So that being said, let's get Loon out of the party for now. Want to go back in the action. And what is he doing now? He's got critical stun. I don't really need that. So let's see. I don't really need crits on him. Burn duration is increased by 2, and he gets 2,000 health. 50% less damage. Immune to blight. Yeah, that seems like it'd be better. Always play twice in a row. And on death, allies gain 3 shield points. I don't want him to be dying. I want him to be like tanking. +3 shields on battle start. Nah, let's see. 1 AP on playing burn. It'd be nice if he had some speed, because I want him to be able to attack a lot, or to use a lot of abilities. But this seems pretty good, right? So now he's at like 7,000. Always play twice in a row. Defense, and speed. What about this? Energizing burn. It's pretty good as well. Okay. Let's just try this for now. Anti-blight, anti-freeze, and cheater. He's gonna be a real tanky tank. I think that's pretty much it, right? We could keep going up the mountain at this point. Let's see. Man, people are being incredibly harsh on FNAF 2. Oh, the movie? I'm still going with my partner to see it anyway because we both love FNAF, but man, it's crazy seeing how hard people are going. Why are they so upset about it? I mean, the first one wasn't great, but it was kind of supposed to be like dumb fun, right? Like not non-derogatory. It was supposed to be like a fun kind of campy popcorn movie, right? Like, it doesn't have to be a work of like a supreme work of art or something if people just have fun with it. FNAF seems to speak, but I only played like 12 years ago. Yeah, honestly, you have to kind of admire how much what a like massive cultural impact that one game had. I could never get into it personally because I, especially at the time, was very susceptible to jump scares and just didn't like want to deal with it. So I admit, like, I watched Markiplier play it because I could like look in the comments for where the jump scares were gonna happen, and then I could just follow along with that. And not have to experience the terror myself. There's something kind of fun about like experiencing a scary thing with other people, even if parasocially. Saria says, I love the first movie. I dressed in a purple suit and my partner was wearing a little white suit with the bunny ears to be Vanny. Oh, that's really cute. I'm glad you guys had fun with it. Have you seen what's it called? Is it Willy's or Wally's Wonderland or whatever? It's like the clearly FNAF inspired Nicolas Cage movie. That was also like, it was very silly, but it was fun as well for what it was, you know. I don't actually have any like connection to the FNAF lore. All I know is there was a bite in 87 or something, and purple guy. That's pretty much all I remember. But I really love the like creepypasta aesthetic of like finding old haunted cartridges and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Wow. But knowing that I was sitting on like 200 Lumina makes me think that I could probably get like on my like solo Mael playthrough, I could probably get her to like 500 or 600 Lumina points, which means the this is interesting. The extent to which sorry, I'm losing my train of thought, but like the extent to which Mael is cracked in this playthrough is only a fraction of her true potential in terms of like individual power output or whatnot, right? Because if I just dump all of that into her, like all the resources that would be going to other characters, like she'll be able to do so much, like basically be untouchable. Sorry, said, yes, I love that movie. I also love the Banana Splits movie. Oh, cool. I still haven't seen that one. But yeah, that's nice. It's nice to, you know, this is not intended as a backhanded compliment or whatever, but like it's nice sometimes. I think there's a certain kind of elitism that can come with art consumption, you know, at least in my, when I was growing up, like it got drilled into my head pretty hard that like anything that you liked or that you enjoyed, that you participated in, was going to become part of how you were judged socially, if that makes sense. So I really liked the Powerpuff Girls. I think I still do. I haven't seen the show in a long time to be able to evaluate it from like an older mindset, but like I really enjoyed watching it when I was a kid. And I think unfortunately like my little social situation at my school was pretty typical in terms of like low-key passive-aggressive homophobia and like toxic masculinity kind of things, where it's like, this is a show about little girls, so it's for little girls, and if you're not a little girl and you like it, then you're gay, whatever that means. We have no idea what it even means. We're just insecure about our sexuality, and so you are gay for liking Powerpuff Girls, and that's bad, and we're going to beat you up now. And so I think that I'm guessing this is probably very common, right? But like there was this culture of like fear of being found out, where you basically weren't allowed to admit that you liked things unless you knew that those things had already been vetted by the social clique or whatever, and they were okay, because otherwise people were going to find you out and they were going to beat you up and punish you for liking the things that were too gay. It's so fucking stupid, obviously, right? But as a result, I think there's a part of my brain that's always a little that still like instinctually flinches when I'm about to admit that like the other this is so stupid because my partner like loves me implicitly and would never judge me for this, but like I was playing like a song of like an emo band on my guitar the other day, and I was like, oh no, if oh interesting, if oh, thank you, thank you, little guy. You know, my partner is gonna listen to this and be like, "Ew, you're listening to emo? What are you, gay?" Like, obviously not, right? But like, there's still a part of my brain that expects it. That's like a tiny lingering part of that like toxic stuff that got drilled into me. And I think it's important to remind yourself, ooh, hello, creepy, that it's okay to like whatever you like, whether or not it's popular or considered good or high art, or whether it's like gotten anybody else's approval. You know, like there's so many different kinds of art and so many kinds of enjoyment. You should like never let anybody else try to police that for you or make you feel bad about liking something you like, as long as you're not hurting anybody, you know. And that was like a really hard thing for me to learn because of how deeply ingrained in my head it became when I was a kid. Unfortunately, I'm guessing that's not uncommon at all, though I hope I'm wrong about that. I hope it is uncommon. Sorry, says I like Powerpuff Girls, especially Powerpuff Girls Z. Oh, I still haven't seen that. Is it good? Would you recommend it? But I'll be happy to check it out. I still have an album that my mom got me when I was a kid called Heroes and Villains, and it's just like a bunch of random bands doing Powerpuff Girls songs. There's a song on it that I unironically fucking love, and I still listen to somewhat regularly, called Walk and Chew Gum by a band called Orthogonally Yours. And they just use like samples of some like very, I don't know, warm and fuzzy sounding vintage orchestra or like a band, and I don't know how to describe it. Look it up though. It's really, really delightful. Also realizing that I just totally fucked up and I should have used Stendhal, but whatever. But yeah, like it's like find your joy in whatever form it manifests, you know. You don't like the reboot though, because making kindergartners twerk. Oh my god, that's, yeah, no. Say less. For once, actually, say less. That's unfortunate. No, obviously, like, that's a little weird, but hey, you know, we live in a world where they gave Ikemoto they let Ikemoto draw Sarada the way that he drew Sarada, and let him keep drawing the comic for years afterwards, or the manga for years afterwards. So, you know, guess we're just at where we're at, which is where we are. I probably should also have. Oh yeah, I wanted to see what this was like. One sec. Oh, it's a little underwhelming. Okay, whatever. I wish I had a weapon from Monaco that did like or maybe I should get like a Picto or Lumina that does like a debuff on hit or something like that. It could be useful. Yeah, that's that's definitely a decision that was made by a human, for better or for much worse. Okay, let's see. I think my basic attack can break, right? Yeah, there we go. And now I can do Endbringer. Yeah, nice. Okay. Yeah, the extra upgrades to the weapon didn't hurt. That's for sure. Cool. So I think I was asking about this last time. Are we just supposed to like consider that the mimes were literally meant to just be like dummies to try out outfits on, and then eventually they were either imbued with life or came to life, but they're not really like their own entities? They are just kind of like mannequins that were used as props, something like that. Anyway, my what lovely feet, say Monaco. My partner walks into the yeah. I don't know that I want to get too personal with that sort of thing, but I will say that for a long time I hated every foot and found every foot to be disgusting, including my own, maybe even especially my own, and didn't ever want to hear the word foot, and it was just not something I wanted in my life. And then I met my partner, and I still feel like that about most people and most feet, but I think my partner is just so wonderful that let's just say that there are things that I might not have enjoyed in the past that I am now able to be a little bit more socially well adjusted about, and not act like, like a little baby about, because she's so great. So I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. I think actually I got into like a really intense debate about this with somebody at one point. I don't really want to rehash it, but I think my aversion to that particular part of anatomy has nothing to do with I don't really want to talk about this. It's like I don't actually literally have anything against people having feet. We kind of all have them for the most part. It's just I think in certain cultures, certain places that I happen to have been, people don't always have great foot hygiene, and since they don't take good care of themselves, then it becomes a problem, and then that's kind of unfortunate. But you know, that's not the foot's fault for not being properly maintained. And now we don't ever have to talk about feet ever again on this channel until the next time that Luna's on screen, obviously. I'm gonna edit that out. No. Sorry, it says Clair made the mimes. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Rioman says, I don't really have a problem with how he draws her. Well, that's okay. You know, it's okay if you don't. But like, what I'm thinking of is there's a cover, I think it's like volume 3 or 4, where she's, I don't know, she looks 8, I guess she's 12, and she has like this little short skirt on, and her legs are kind of like up and bent so that you can like almost barely see like under her skirt, and it's really creepy and really inappropriate and gross. And her face is also drawn in a really weird kind of bloated proportion, and just the poses that she strikes. I think in TBV it's a lot better. Like, yeah, she has that exposed shoulder or whatever, and it's a little provocative, but it feels a little bit more like edgy. But she felt like sexualized in part 1 of Boruto, and it's like really fucking uncomfortable. I'm not okay with the way that she's portrayed in a lot of ways that she's shown, and it's not just her either. Like, it's kind of funny and kind of funny in a really 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 bad way. That like as characters mature and get like older, they get less that like they're actually portrayed much better. In that like fuck I'm hoping what happened is that he kind of was like, okay, I need to improve on this, and so the character design just get better over time. I hope it's not that like as characters get older he like loses interest and just draws them more normally, you know what I mean? Like, benefit of the doubt and everything, but I don't. Okay. All right, sure, why not? Who needs a boss battle, am I fucking right? But yeah, I guess I just I don't know what to say. I was really creeped out by the way that that character was portrayed in part 1, and so as far as I'm concerned, Ikemoto has to like earn me back, like win me back. And he's made some strides in that regard, but when it comes to his female character design, I'm really not a fan. Eternal Ice, Grandiose. Oh, Snowium, that's kind of cool. A lovely name for an item.
Ce névron est fait de glace éternelle.
C'est pour ça qu'il était si résistant.
Rapportons la glace
Well,
éternelle à la gare de Monaco.
did I have a quest to get Eternal Ice? It sounds familiar, but I completely forgot about that. Well, honestly, that's very disappointing. It's kind of funny that I was able to just nuke that boss, but like, I wish I had gotten a chance to fight it. At this point, I do feel like a little bit of automatic scaling to like if we are so far ahead that we're just melting bosses without a care, then like yeah, a little bit of automatic scaling to at least have the fight go on a couple of turns would have been nice. Freeze self when falling below 30% health, prevent the next instance of damage while frozen. That's cool. On turn start, if frozen, remove freeze and recover. Oh, that's really cool actually. Gain 2 ice stains and 3 AP when frozen. What a cool mechanic. I love that. Oh, I love it's like a 3D snowflake. That's beautiful with little flowers in it. That's so fucking cool. The weapon design in this game is just so creative. Yeah, I guess, is there, I just realized that I don't even like look at my, is there like a quest log or something? Show journal. Inventory. Quest items. Okay, let's see. Hints. Quest items. Okay, so I do have a lot of these things. Bourgeon skin. Oh yeah, I gotta go find the little Bourgeon. I never remember where he is. Eternal Ice. Yeah, so I do have some stuff. A canvas portrait of the Descendant family. I thought I plugged that in the manor. Oh, okay. So I'm a little confused. Yeah, I still haven't figured out what to do with this thing either. Oh, well, I think... Okay, so you do keep these things in your inventory even if you use them, because we definitely use these. Okay. Interesting. I have a stupid question, Saria. Is, do people in French actually use a wow wow like that as an expression? Like, I mean, I grew up, like, reading Asterix and Tintin and stuff, and so, you know, as far as I was concerned, or as far as I knew, it was totally normal to say, like, sacre bleu, or zut alors, or whatever, you know? But I have a feeling, like, if I walked into, like, an eclair shop in Paris or something, and I was like, ah, sacre bleu, zut alors, one eclair, s'il vous plaît, I'd get, like, the shit kicked out of me, right? Like, that's not, something that people actually say, right? Makima's feet versus you. Well, if anybody's gonna have like good hygiene, I would assume that Makima would probably keep up with it. So, you know, more power to you. You enjoy. More for you. Saria says, "Oh my God, my partner's playing Carol of the Bells, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra version, and I love that version. It's so good. Yes, it's amazing. I need more of that band in my life, honestly. I have an album of theirs. I think it's called like Beethoven's Last Night that I really liked, but I haven't listened to it in forever. Okay, so I have to go back to the train station. Yeah, I don't remember this ice quest at all. Is there a quest log? I guess not. That might have been helpful. It's okay. It's not the end of the world or anything, but we'll see. This is the station, right? I do wish there was like a fast travel option to get back to the manor. But it's not really that big of a deal. And I know like places on the map to go to it. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thought I already talked to this guy, but that's okay. Oh, okay. Wow. Yes. Okay. I can't believe I didn't realize that. That makes sense. Very, very good boy. He deserves a scritch behind the ears. The goodest of boy. Yes, I forgot how good a good boy he is. Sorry I'm skipping through this because I think I talked to these people before, and I just can't remember what I'm supposed to do with the shard thing. Okay. Hello, friends. Excuse me. Is it? It's not that guy, is it? Is it this dude? Oh, is this the fucking poetry guy? I got so pissed at this guy before. Life is but a fleeting dream, a whisper in the night. While shadows fade to silence, gone beyond our sight. Your words impress me. Okay. Through the veil of shadows, life's mysteries are spun. Death untangles threads, revealing what's begun. And often we find it so much fun. I'm guessing this. Okay, thank you. Life dances on the edge of time, flicker in the breeze. But sometimes it shows its teeth. Eternity then cradles us a promise to appease. Okay. I mean, I just picked the most flowery sounding options. Please give me a cool hat. Please give me a cool hat. Cool hat? Okay. Well, it's not a hat, but it's still pretty cool. Okay. Oh, so I have to... No, I'm not going to do that. Go through it with all the different characters. I don't think I can deal with that much poetry in one night. Okay. So, does it actually... Do I have a clue as to what I'm supposed to do with this thing? One sec. Inventory. Yeah. It just says a concentrated ice core, so I'm not sure. Oh, here we go. A perfect specimen, no less. Getting this was not easy. I imagine that the never runs there are quite lethal. Wonderful. Let us craft the ultimate defense. Oh, cool. Don't mind if I do. My work is complete. Here, have a look. Oh. Survive fatal damage with 1 health once per battle. That's it. That was the ultimate defense. Okay. I mean, that's not bad. It's cute. Energizing death. That's an upgrade for the one I already have, I think. Raider rush. Ooh, nice. Yep. That's definitely helpful. Burning shots upgrade. Kandaho. Start in heavy mask. Heavy mask applies shell for 3 turns. And when I pay per hit taken, that could be pretty useful. Oh, I don't actually have that much money, funny enough. No perfection lost on damage taken. Perfection is instead lost on being healed. Huh. Gain 2 AP on counterattack. That's actually really cool. Coldum. Still healed by 2% health on dealing a critical hit. I think I have something like that already, though. Stanceless. Oh, that's for Mael. Never mind. In stanceless base attacks, which is defensive stance. That's actually not bad. I'll collect that, but I'm not going to use it, probably. Whoa. What the hell? My controller stopped responding. 1 second. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, let me get... yeah, what the fuck? When I get to the bottom of the menu, it just freezes. Huh. I doubt that I'm going to use these, but I might as well collect them while I'm here. Certainly can't hurt. Woof woof, Makima, woof woof. I forgot, did we talk about the Reza Arc movie? I did. I saw that in theaters. It was really cool to actually get a chance to see something like that, like on the big screen, so to speak. I haven't, oh yeah, and then I skimmed through the manga, but I think we talked about how, around that time it felt like, you know how by the time you get to the war arc, there's a lot of, in Naruto, there's a lot of stuff that's just feels like it's kind of lightly sketched as opposed to being like fully drawn in or whatever. It's the line work loses a little bit of its clarity. The shading definitely loses its detail. It just feels like the author like just didn't have the time and was overworked and exhausted and stuff like that. So I feel like, um, unfortunately, Chainsaw Man kind of got to that same point just earlier, um, where the level of detail in the art was just dropping off way too fast, and I kind of felt sad almost, because I was like, oh, I am seeing somebody succumb to exhaustion and being overworked in real time, and this feels kind of sad. Did we go here before? I think so. But let me just poke my head in. Is the painting Flying Manor? Oh no, we did. Yeah, there was that one character here that wanted us to fight him. Yeah, or maybe not. Maybe not. No, I don't think so. I'm thinking of something else. Let's take a look here. That's ominous. It's so fucking cool. I really hope that there is a oh, those glass containers over there look familiar. Oh, hi friend. Humans, you must leave. Everything here is just too powerful. Right after the fracture, this Chroma Maestro appeared. Swish, swish, lightning quick strokes of Chroma. You see, swish, swish, and she remade the broken land into all this around us. These floating islands with terrifying aura. This is goodbye. I leave for the sacred river. Okay, good luck, buddy. You'll make it there. Oh, I'm sorry. I see you say, I love her with white hair. She pulls it off so well. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny. When I was younger, when I was like in high school, I had long hair in a ponytail. It was down to my back, like halfway down my back. And I had never played Final Fantasy VII. I still have never finished a Final Fantasy game. And I've only, like, tried to play 7 and 15. But that being said, I was totally enamored. Good answer. I was totally enamored with Sephiroth. I saw a picture of Sephiroth with his cool jacket and his cool sword and his cool hair, being so cool and awesome and ominous, and I was just like, I gotta be like this guy. So I was convinced that I would dye my hair gray, and I actually asked somebody who knew how to use this amazing new futuristic piece of technology that nobody had ever really heard of at the time. But there was actually a piece of like a computer thing that you could use on your computer that would let you edit pictures. It was called like the Shop of Photos or something like that. It was called, oh yeah, Photoshop. That's what it was called. I'm joking, of course. And basically, through the use of this magical tool called Photoshop, he was able to Photoshop Sephiroth's hair like onto my head, and I was like, oh dude, I'm so fucking cool. Now I just gotta get a big ass like katana. I'm gonna be the coolest guy in the town. And that didn't really work out. But my mom, I think, took pity on my extremely awkward nerd self at the time and was like, okay, oh my god, this is amazing. I can't let him dye his hair because they will have to come up with a new term to describe the amount of bullying he's going to sustain. But what I can do, and this was no better, what I can do is let him get like a hair extension so that so if you can picture in your this is so weird now to think about it, that I wore this for years. Imagine Anakin Skywalker from the like episode 2 of the prequels, like the second prequel, right? And that you know how we had, if you can picture it in your head, one like single braid. I think it was like we should ask Darth Magog about this, but like he would wear a single braid down, a very thin skinny braid down one side of his head, and I think it was like the mark of him still being a Padawan or something like that, because he loses it in the next movie. Okay, so it was like that. It was about the same length and the same like thickness, and it was just like attached to the rest of my hair underneath my ear on one side of my head with like a little fused bit of wax or something that they use for hair extensions. So basically what it was is they had like, you would go to the the hair salon, and you could see all these different examples of, like, they had individual strands of like synthetic hair or whatever that you could look at to give you a sense of what you would look like if you got your hair dyed that way. And so I was like, I like this, and my mom was like, okay, well, we can't like have him dye his whole fucking hair like this, so can you just give him this one little extension thing? And so that's how that's what I was able to get away with. Of course, that didn't help with the bullying. Would you believe it? But I thought it looked cool. And then I started to realize that my hair was thinning pretty early, and decided for a much shorter cut. Actually, equally cringy perhaps is I became enamored with the show Prison Break. Ah, shit. And I thought like Wentworth Miller was really cute, and I decided that what I needed to do, clearly I was mistaken when it came to the hair extension thing. I had just made a little mistake there, and what I needed to do actually was that I needed to actually shave off all of my hair so that I would look like Wentworth Miller in Prison Break. So pretty much overnight I decided like, oh yeah, fuck this, and I like shaved my head all the way bald. I was completely unfamiliar with the term skinhead. I didn't know that there was any sort of connotation to that whatsoever. I didn't know the history of it or anything like that. I was just like, well, I'm done looking like Anakin, and now I want to look like Wentworth Miller instead. So this is how I guided my so-called fashion choices when I was younger. The Anakin from the I can take multiple men in a fight, right? Yeah, supposedly in a fight. We all know what he was talking about. Goddamn, 2 million damage. But yeah, that's the one.
Tiens-toi prêt, Monaco.
That was cute. I think that tickled a little.
Attention, mate.
Oh, I didn't even notice those guys there.
À toi de briller.
Oh well, bye Verso. I guess it's nice that they can actually still like propose some kind of a threat, at least to a certain extent. Although not very much. Let's see. Deals highlight damage to all that. Yeah, let's try this. And then I can resurrect. Oh, that's fucking cool. I didn't realize I actually had that particular ability. Let's see. They didn't really do much damage, but whatever. Gets him back in the fight. Yes, okay, I managed to actually pull that off. Kind of surprised, but I'm not gonna overthink it. Oh, sorry, I have a random question for you. It seems like in the one second, that in the intro music, there's kind of a lot that's revealed about the characters. I haven't looked into it because I don't want to spoil anything for myself. But I can definitely hear Alicia's name. I can definitely hear Verso's name, and I think I heard Aline's name as well. And how do you feel, without revealing anything in particular, how do you feel about the idea that they could be like putting... One second. I think there's a raccoon in my window. One second. Sorry about that. I have a bird feeder that's attached to my window with a suction cup, and all of a sudden I just heard like this fervent scratching and tapping on my window. And so I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure nobody can climb up there, but I know we have a raccoon that's been marauding around the neighborhood, so I thought I should take a look. Also, that was a total waste of a Monaco attack, but whatever. But no, it was just the wind, apparently. What am I doing? Here we go. I guess I should try to shoot the pink glob. I don't really need to, though. Yeah, I guess I don't really need to at all. I'm playing extremely inefficiently. Oh well. But it's nice to actually get like a fucking battle here. I'm not doing a very good job, but Monaco's so tanky it doesn't even matter. Nice counter. Will this end it? Yes, okay. So get the fuck back. Yeah, so do you think he's just faking? He just like wants to take a nap and so he lets himself lie on the ground? Like he can't even die. Oh, you know what's funny also? The other day I was at the store and I was looking for art supplies and I saw that one of the pieces of art supply had the word gommage written on it. And I was like, now I can speak French for real. I know that that's a word. I think it means erase. I don't remember, and I'm not going to admit it out loud. No one will ever know, except me and now everybody on stream. But yeah, that was really cool. I mean, I know it's just a word, right? But to me, now that word will always have a very specific and particular meaning, and to kind of see it there and now have that connection with this new word like that is very cool. I don't know. Maybe that sounds silly, but I thought it was kind of cool. Follow up. There we go. Episode 3, Anakin versus any character from the prequels. I think Anakin, well, I mean, like, he lost to... Oh, Episode 3, Anakin? Yeah, probably. Well, he lost to Obi-Wan. But, so, you know, maybe Obi-Wan. But other than that, sure. I think I'm going to try and keep going for a little bit longer. But, man, I'm so fucking tired. I might have to call it a little early tonight. Alright, we can do a little bit more. Excuse me. The music is more like a retrospective. Understanding it helps with multiple playthroughs, honestly. Okay, cool, yeah. Well, I'm gonna refrain from, like, spoiling it for myself, obviously. But, I'm gonna go check it out for sure. Sorry says, no, that's not silly. I get it. Me with English for the longest time. Okay, cool, yeah. Well, that's the thing, too. It's like, I have, okay, so this is gonna sound, silly as well. But there was, like, an AMV of, I think her name is Yoko, right, from Gurren Lagann. And the song, there was a, yeah, I think if you looked it up on YouTube now, you would probably find it. I think it was just called Yoko is Perfect. And it was a cute little, like, loop of her, I guess, dancing or showing off or whatever. And it had this song that played along with it, obviously because it was a music video, that I think was called Drop It by Sporty D or something like that. And it was a very, like, very much the kind of song that I wouldn't normally like. It's like, hey, I'm in the club and being in the club is cool and let's drink and fuck in the club. And hey, have I mentioned the club? You know, it's really actually a song about, like, being into a stripper, I guess, which is fine. But, like, at the time, it would not have been what I would have ever listened to. But then, because I associated it with this music video, one time I randomly went to a strip club, and while I was in the strip club, one of the dancers started dancing, and this song came on, and I was like, oh shit, that's the Yoko song. And I got so fucking excited because I was like, wait, this stripper knows anime? Clearly, this stripper specifically chose this song to dance to, even though she's not the DJ, because she's a fan of Gurren Lagann. And this is why this song is playing. In the same way that I was in like a outer goods store, or like an outdoor sports and goods store at one point, and I heard Roundabout playing on the speakers by Yes, right? Which is the to be continued next time meme song that comes from what's it called? From JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I never heard it outside of the anime before, and I got so excited because I was like, oh dude, anime is really crossing over into the mainstream, huh? They're playing anime songs at the fucking Bass Pro Shop or whatever it was. I was so fucking stoked. Of course, you know, sweet summer child that I was, this is not actually the case. The stripper did not, like, have a special anime themed twerk off. this is just a song. But now I fucking love that song, and I will happily like play it and dance to it or whatever, because it crossed over between these two worlds, so to speak, and now it has like this extra special significance to it. And same thing, like, I don't really like Yes, I don't really like JoJo's, but now I fucking love that song because now I have this stupid story that I can tell about it, and it's like it's taken on this like greater emotional significance to me because it was in one thing and then I recognized it somewhere else. I don't know if there's a word for that, but like when the emotional value of something becomes inflated because it just like has a broader context, I guess. But yeah, he was mentally nerfed. No nerfed Anakin would one-shot Obi-Wan. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I'm assuming that probably played like a big role in it. He definitely like lost his cool. Although I guess like part of the idea with the dark side of the Force is that you can harness negative emotions. So maybe he just like wasn't able to fully benefit from his power. So there's like an even stronger version of him that would have been able to do even better, something like that. You never been to a strip club? I've only seen him in GTA watching my sister play. Yeah, so I haven't gone out in several years. My previous partner was bisexual, and so it would be kind of a fun thing for both of us to do. You know, sometimes like we went on Valentine's Day one time, went like on her birthday one time, and it really the vibe and whether or not you have a good time, or at least that I had a good time, was very dependent on a few factors. One time I remember we went and I had a lap dance with a lovely individual, well, my partner did as well, and she was just like super friendly and chill, and like, yeah, there was partial nudity, and yeah, there was like grinding or whatever, but while that was happening we were both just kind of chatting, and she was just like, oh yeah, I like working here, I like the music, like what do you do, like oh, I make video games. Oh yeah, my son likes playing Fortnite. Like, oh yeah, you have a kid? Yeah. So we were just like, you know, chatting and having fun, and it was just like there happened to be boobs, and also it was a very pleasant experience, and she clearly like enjoyed her work and she was making good money and it was fine. And then there are other environments where it's like there are bouncers like just kind of constantly lurking and stalking. The vibe is like super tense. You could tell people don't feel really comfortable, like people aren't really having a good time, and that can get like really weird really fast. Like I feel very uncomfortable with that sort of thing. Also, I am a human being who enjoys romance and such and other yeah, I like to have sex. I am an adult. Wow, scandalous, I know. But that being said, I don't really like when I don't know how to describe this, but that just because I like certain things doesn't mean I like certain things in any given context, and doesn't necessarily mean I like those same things like thrust in my face as loud and vigorously as possible with loud blaring music with a whole bunch of other people around. So as much as like I'm a fan of boobs are great, yeah, everybody should love boobs, but at the same time it's not like I don't want a random person coming up to me and just like slamming them into my chin and being like, that'll be $20, you know. It gets like very, very excessive. It's a whole scene, it's a whole vibe that I think is like fun if you're the sort of person for whom it's fun, and if not, it can be kind of uncomfortable and weird, and you just kind of gotta feel it out. I think it's definitely worth, if you can find a place that, you know, has good reviews and that like the vibe is chill, go with a couple of friends and basically just like kind of take it easy. Don't like let anybody pressure you into something. You just kind of have fun with it. Just watch some dances from a distance. It can be a really good time, but also like understand that if it doesn't feel right or if the idea doesn't sit with you, like don't let anybody pressure you into it, for sure. And if anything feels uncomfortable, just leave, you know. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that, but yeah, that's just my experiences. I like to have sex. I like Zelda. Me and my partner's dynamic. I mean, like, yeah, what else could you ask for? You gotta find somebody who appreciates the finer things in life. Being an adult and availing yourself of the benefits of being an adult, and also Zelda. So, what else can you ask for? You can replace Zelda with Dark Souls, I suppose. So, I'm a little confused as to why we're fighting this thing again. I mean, I know this was supposedly the place where The painter started off, right? This feels really weird though. Like we had our big, massive, climactic battle against this thing, and now it's back. What the fuck is going on? Is this like a boss rush area or something? Let's see. I love that I'm kind of like starting to get into a flow with like the attacks and stuff. Like the prompts and everything are starting to feel like much more natural and flowy. Okay, thanks, I guess. What's weird, so this one seems to be more like a generic version, right? It's not doing the same kinds of like super intense attacks that the other one was. We're not also playing like the lamp ritual minigame. Kind of weird. Lamp master, better luck, better luck next time, Star Fox. I don't know what's going on with it. It's just like kind of here. It's just there in the air, man. I must be missing something. It's gonna like have a second form where it gets crazy, right? Something like that. Oh shit, I think I fucked up my turn cadence. Oh, here we go. Nice, okay. Sorry, I just don't feel particularly threatened by you anymore, friend. Okay. Just gonna keep buffing, I guess. We get a heal going on. Do I have enough for a heal as well? No, I don't. That's okay. I'll just attack. Yeah, I really need something that's like a debuff on hit to kind of round out his kit, I think. I'm not even gonna bother like with using my gradient attacks. I don't really think I need to. Damn it. Ah, shit. If I remember correctly, this does actually have quite a big effect on the aim. Ah, shit. Well, I guess that won't matter now. It would really be nice if Monaco just had like a direct heal as opposed to just the Pellerin heal. Okay, you can stop attacking now. Holy shit. Back off, bro. Alright, so let's see. Medium light damage, just powerless. Let's do defenseless, I think. Yeah, I really wish he had a direct heal, but that's okay. We can deal with that later. Okay, so Monaco plays immediately. Let's get a revive going. Got plenty of those going around. So yeah, I think it does actually kind of fuck with my aim, but it's not that big of a deal since I'm not being super precise about it anyway. Up to A. Do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I can get it up to S, 7, 8. Yep, 9. And then I can do this. And then I can do that. And I can do that. Boom. Okay. Not bad, not bad. You know what? Let's go ahead and do this. I don't need Phoenix Flame, actually. Let's do that. There we go. Nice. Okay. And now I should be able to do a massive nuke with Stendhal. Does Stendhal mean something in French? It feels more like German to me, but I'm curious if there's a special significance to it somehow. You just don't know when to quit, do you, buddy? That's 3 times now. Oh, this is like a boss rush type area. I see. Okay. So this game, we still have a lot left in this game, huh? You've conquered your foe once again. Should I take you back to the plaza? Yes, please. Oh, nice little boy. Thank you very much. I'll take a bite to eat real quick. I think I missed this area. Let's see. We have one of those. Is there a prompt here? It's crazy to think I could have missed this entirely. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I don't know how to say it. I kind of gotta. I'm having a vague sort of sense of fatigue about just how many gauntlets I guess there are still that we're going through. That's not a complaint though, so I'm trying to figure out how best to process it. I guess I'll wait and think about it a bit more. Let's see. I think I got some upgrade materials. So Miles is fully upgraded, but Verso, I think, yeah, I can still upgrade his stuff a little bit more. Okay, and as for you, Monoko, my friend, good puppy. Let's see what that new weapon was that he got. So, Grandaro, start battle in Heavy Mask. Okay, Joyaro, start battle in Almighty Mask. That's pretty great. 20% increased damage for each consecutive turn without taking damage. Well, he's probably going to be taking quite a few hits. Break damage is doubled while Almighty Mask. Okay, I'm not going to be using him for damage that much. So, I was using Ballaro Y. Reverse order. Okay, that because I can share the AP, that makes sense. Starting it in Agile Mask. I wonder, can I start in Caster Mask? Because that would actually help with the support build that I want to do. I guess not. That's okay. Won't worry about it too much. Cool. Well, yeah, I just I'm also kind of, I'm glad we get to keep playing. I'm glad there's more stuff to do, but I also don't necessarily want to go through a whole bunch of more like super in-depth or challenging areas. I'm kind of like happy to move towards the end. If that makes sense. It's like an embarrassment of riches. I think that's the expression. It doesn't look like this is going to be too overly complicated. Stendhal is a 19th century French writer because Maëlle doesn't like to paint, she likes to read. That's how she got involved with the writers. Oh, okay, I gotcha. With his most important work being Le Rouge et le Noir, Red and Black, right? It's about hypocrisy and sincerity, as well as love and passion and a few other things. That's cool. I'll have to check that out. I love that you you immediately knew that reference. Feels pretty esoteric, but that's cool. It's impressive. I'll have to learn more about it. Hi, friend. Let's see. I think I've been playing quite a bit of what the hell's that game called? Halls of Torment. When I need a game to just kind of like chill with. Especially because my partner and I have been listening to audiobooks together, and I thought that cut through shields. I'm stupid. And I can't like just sit still and listen to an audiobook. I have to be multitasking because my brain is my brain. So usually I will just kind of play a game that's like sort of chill and doesn't require me to focus too heavily. 1 second. And so, you know, my partner's been playing through some of the Witcher books, and I've been simultaneously listening along to the books while playing Halls of Torment, which has been a lot of fun. It's a nice kind of, it's almost like Zen after a certain point, because the idea is you don't have to be all that, like, meticulously involved in, like, working out any kind of grand strategy or whatever. Once you kind of set up your build, if your build is like reasonably strong, especially if you have a decently defensive build, you can kind of just cruise through the level and watch the pretty lights and colors and explosions. I believe the term, there's this YouTuber called Girlfriend Reviews, and I think the term that they came up with was diarrhea Christmas lights, and that feels a little bit derogatory, but it is kind of like that. You just see this constant shower of oh, this is beautiful, look at this. Hello. This constant shower of gems and sparks and stuff, and it's very relaxing. Also extremely fucking addictive, like, just to be very clear. Like, it is has pure addiction, like pure crack in its DNA, if that makes sense. Oh, that was stupid. Why do I keep thinking it's gonna break through the shields? I am misguided. You can just go to the end. Like I said, I wouldn't blame you if there's a lot left to do, and I don't want you to force yourself through it because it might ruin your experience, so it's valid to end. Oh, I really appreciate that. No, I want to see everything the game has to offer. I think tonight in particular, I'm just like a little extra fatigued, so it seems like more. But when I'm in a better headspace, it'll probably feel more like exciting, so to speak. I think it's just also like not to whine about it, but today at work was pretty discouraging. Like, so the worst days at work are still better than, like, you know, the best days when I used to work at 7-Eleven or whatever. So I'm not really complaining, just to be very clear. But at the same time, there's a certain kind of phase that happens on every project after a certain point where it's like everybody just kind of gets frustrated with everybody else, and communication is bad, and things are confusing, and everything's just kind of like, we feel like we don't have time to do anything right, and like the tensions just kind of get high, and so it just feels like this endless, like, you can barely keep up with like fixing one thing before the next thing breaks, if that makes sense. It gets discouraging, and so I think I'm over caffeinated, and my brain is like recovering from that silliness. And as a result, I'm like, more tasks. That's the last thing I need right now. And I'm not doing it justice, so to speak. So I think once I get a chance to rest up a little over the weekend, now that I'm through, like, I'm basically at a milestone right now where I've gone over. Does any of this stuff break? 1 second. Remove self shield. Oh, that's okay. Remove self shields. I gotcha. Gustav so much. Yeah, let's try this. Does this actually break? I forget. No, it doesn't. That's really weird that it doesn't break. Extreme physical damage. Do I not have any break attacks? What the fuck is wrong with me? No, oh, I can break with his basic attack. Okay. I can't believe that's the only thing I have that breaks. That doesn't make sense. I must be missing something. Oh shit, I missed that. Oh, still a bit of lot damage. And the funny thing about Monoko now is that I feel like I might want to actually ironically swap him out for Loon, because he's just not healing as much as I want. So I'm gonna have to revisit that later, I think. And we'll see. Okay.
Montre-moi ce que tu sais faire.
But yeah, no, like the next time I come to the stream and I'm like actually, oh, that's Claire's haircut. Interesting. I think that the name of it was called Claire. Cool. So is this like her library? Is she also an avid reader? I love the pages kind of falling down from the, in like a rain of petals almost. Yeah, no. So I think that like what might seem like a bit of a slog today, because of my tired, grumpy brain, will probably feel like just an exciting adventure the next time. So I'm not gonna force it tonight. Like I'm gonna, I don't think I'll be able to go longer than 3 hours tonight, if that, and then I'll just pick it up next time with a little bit more, either a little more sleep or a lot more caffeine. Either way, we'll figure it out together. Okay. Oh yeah, this is really cool. Oh, look at the statue kind of coming out from the library stacks like that. That's the other thing too. Like I don't want to feel like I'm rushing a little bit, and I want to actually like take the time to enjoy the sights, so to speak. So yeah. Guess we'll just start strong. See how far this gets us. Yeah, not fucking bad. Not fucking bad at all, Mael. Okay. So, can I actually cast anything with this? No, I think I'll just do that.
Attention à elle.
I can never read this guy's attacks. Of course, the one time when I was going to be like, oh, I have no chance of doing this whatsoever is the time when I actually do it correctly.
Frayons-nous un chemin. C'est fini.
It'll extend the stun, I think, right? Let's see how well this does. Yeah, he's not going to be a damage dealer, that's fine. I also have to remember to actually use the fucking mask mechanic. I've been kind of ignoring that. I haven't been paying attention. That's fine.
Tiens-toi prêt, Monaco.
Let's just do this. It's very beautiful. Such elegant animations, seriously. Like, altro che finesse e grasse. It's just amazing. And I know that I feel like I'm a broken record when I say this like every stream, but I've been very discouraged lately at work with like I was talking to my partner about this earlier tonight, that like I think, you know, I love my job, I love my career, and I love my team, and I love Naruto, and I love being part of a community of people that are passionate enough, even when I disagree. Like, even though, like, I, you know, insert the name here of any people, any person, any channel, any video that I've whined about or like lambasted or whatever. At the end of the day, I'm still going to be very outwardly, very explicitly grateful that that shit exists, because it means we have a community in place in the first place to support this kind of dialogue between people. Like the fact that Noodles made a video about multiversal Naruto that got 50,000 views. So what that he, like, putting aside for a second that everything he said was like bad and dumb, in my opinion, there was an audience of like 50,000-ish people willing to spend an hour or however long on that topic and then talk about it and then make more videos, and I'm grateful for that. Like, I'm glad that that exists. So even on the days when I'm annoyed with the community or whatever, that's always present. And that's the same thing at my job. Like I said, the worst day at my job is still like great compared to the best day at some of previous jobs. But I think there's a persistent lack of curiosity and apathy that have been pervading both the Naruto community that I've engaged with and my job, and I'm getting tired of it. So I'll complain about that more in 1 second. Let me see. Saria says, this game means so much to me as French. It's so important to me. Having a French tragedy that is beloved worldwide in the modern day is so lovely. Yes, I agree. Honestly, I was kind of surprised. There was that game that came out a little while ago that was like very similar to Lies of P, in some ways, that was like a Souls-like, that was Italian in nature. It dealt with like Italian history and like folk tales and stuff like that. But I guess it didn't really kick off. I don't really hear anybody talking about it anymore. I downloaded the demo for it and I enjoyed it, but then I kind of just forgot about it, sadly. So I would like to see one like that as well. But yeah, I'm celebrating it, and really glad that you're getting to experience it, and that I hope it will encourage more of this sort of thing, you know? Fusoka says, it's been so long since I've seen anyone. Oh, I'm sorry, friend. But yeah, so basically, I need to kind of reset my brain for a second here. There will be times at work when you do a task that turns out to be pointless, or your work gets erased, or you wind up like just not really loving the project that you're a part of, or it gets delayed, etc. There's all that stuff that kind of comes along with it. It's kind of inevitable, but all of that you can basically deal with. The thing that I like find very hard to deal with is when people just sort of resign themselves and treat the project like it doesn't matter or something like that, because it's hard enough to solve like solve a bug that requires you to understand the code and to work with people in different teams. Like, okay, we have to fix the code first, and then we have to go fix the art, and then add sounds to it, and you know, basically, it looks like this guy's in like a drunken boxing stance, which is kind of cool. You know, it's hard enough to like actually do the physical work of the job, but if you have to start by first convincing people that it's worth their while to give a shit in the first place, then it just makes the whole thing like so much harder, you know what I mean? Because you first have to convince people that it's okay to care about the thing, and that you're like allowed to be emotionally invested, and then actually do the work. It doubles the work, and it's just kind of unfair. And same thing with the Naruto disagreements. Like, I have the feeling that for most of the stuff that I disagree with people on, like the moon being hollow, or the like speed scaling, the universal scaling, whatever else, that it just comes from misunderstandings, and those misunderstandings are pretty easy. Like, I try to put an effort into things. I'd like to think that I'm somewhat intelligent, but I don't think I'm like a genius by any means. I don't think I'm even particularly good at like analyzing, interpreting art. I to the extent that I am good, it's because I've practiced a lot, and I've watched like a lot of like YouTube videos and shit from people who are smarter and better than me at it, and learned from them, right? It's not like a natural talent that I have, if I even do have that skill. But that being said, like, I don't think you need that to figure this shit out. I think like so much of the stuff that people wind up disagreeing and going to bat against each other about is just due to like them personally being incurious. Like, I don't think you know, Sage or whoever is so stupid that they actually think that I don't know, the moon is literally the same mass as it is in Naruto, when it's very clearly hollowed out. Like, you don't have to be a genius to realize that there's a problem. It's a lack of curiosity, right? And so it's hard enough to go through and analyze the things and get people to understand them. But then if you first have to like audition for the ability to have an emotional investment in the first place, to care, to not be apathetic, to be curious, that's so much extra work, and it's so much harder, right? It's like, you can find a scan that debunks somebody, but getting them to want to read in the first place is like so much harder, and it's just like an additional emotional burden that clouds everything. And the same thing is true of the games industry, right? It's like some people, I'm sure this is true in other industries too, but some people just get to the point where it's like, whatever, you know, this game is going to come out, it's going to be whatever it is. It might be good, it might be bad, and there's nothing we can do about it, so just shut up and do your job, and like, whatever, when the game comes out, we'll patch it if we have to. It's like, fuck, man, like, how do we get so jaded, you know? We're still making art, we're making cool shit, like, even if we have a rough day, like, where's that passion? It just like slowly seeps out of people, and then they look at you like you're the stupid one if you're still passionate about it. It's like, wait, why are we not like fighting for this? Why are we not pushing for this? Why are we not like we should be more mad, we should be more like I don't know, not angry at each other, but like let's freak out a little bit more, let's get a little bit more worked up, let's like really sink our teeth into this. And it's like, you can't convince people to do that. They just don't, they won't, like, they don't care. And if you start making noise, they'll be like, you're being disruptive, right? You're like you're disrupting concord, blessed concord. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, like, I don't know. Hopefully that makes some kind of sense. Let me go back to the actual fucking video game now. Convert light damage from skills to physical, 20% increased physical damage. That's pretty cool. That's not really germane to my build. Consuming an earth stain applies one shield. That's pretty cool too. Sea Shalom. Oh, what a lovely name. Shield on switching to offensive stance. If stanceless base attack switches to offensive stance, that's also cool, but I'm already maxed, so sorry, I don't think I really need that. 30% increased damage per upgraded skill used. Resets on using a non-upgraded skill. Base attack spins the bestial wheel to a random value using an upgraded skill. Oh yeah, this is actually really good. That's cool. Martenon on Twilight Start. That's actually pretty good too. Double Sun. Oh, holy shit! That's probably like the best weapon for Loon, if I'm not or for Ciel, if I'm not mistaken. Gotta come back for that later. I definitely want to get these. I think I'm gonna need to come back to this guy because I don't have enough money. Yeah, definitely. Like, there's a bunch of great shit up here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back here. Gradient Breaker. Yep, this is really great shit here. Okay, I have to remember. Have to remember where you're stuck, little guy. Sorry, says this game means so much to me as a French. Oh yeah, just Kyle will say something incredibly depressing, then you remember they're fucking stupid and will forget it in the next 3 minutes. Yep, and even if they wind up meeting their maker, so to speak, literally or figuratively, it seems like they will soon come back to life anyway. So infinite cycle of stupidity. I love it. They're so adorable, and that the writing for them is genuinely really funny. I think like comedy is really, really hard to do well in games. I'm actually struggling to think of games that have genuinely made me laugh. And this is one that has not only made me laugh, but like made me lose my shit laughing in the best possible way. Yeah, it makes sense. Sorry, I get it completely. It's been a thing in the Zelda fandom for the last few years. Yeah. And like, if you personally don't like, so we talked about this when you asked me. Remember, there was that thing we were talking about, and you said like, I think we were talking about the light arrows or something like that. And on stream, I was saying, brah, why doesn't Sage or whoever care more about this? You didn't give enough time to this. You didn't care enough. Blah blah blah. I was mad, and then you were like, well, I did something similar with the light arrows. And so are you saying, like, you checked in with me about whether or not I was talking, like we were talking about the same sort of thing. And to me, like, hopefully I was able to be reassuring there that like what you were doing is you were setting a personal limit and being like, yep, this is what I have available and what I'm interested in exploring with this right now for myself, as opposed to what I thought Sage or whoever I was talking about was doing, was more taking the stance of like, objectively or whatever, this is the answer, and you don't need to, like, nobody else should need to look into this anymore. It's a done deal, right? And that's kind of what I was was objecting to more so. So yeah, but it's like, how do you get around that level of jadedness? There's a difference between like, I've done my part, I've done what I can, I feel like I'm satisfied with this for now, maybe I'll come back to it later, maybe I won't, and more just like, whatever, man, it doesn't matter, nobody should question me because it's already a done deal and let's move on, right? Those are two very different things, and I just don't know how to persuade people to care more. And my partner says maybe it's like a special interest thing, so like, I can try and be humble about it and be like, hey, just because I'm obsessed with something doesn't mean everybody else has to be, right? Just to be fair. But it's still tough when you feel like you're the crazy one because you're just trying to get people like more invested, if that makes sense. Hello, Justin, the voice actor. Greetings. I hope you're having a wonderful night. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for checking it out. We are in the late stages of Clair Obscur, and I'm just kind of going around and exploring the latter parts of the game and wrapping up loose ends and stuff. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Have you played the game yourself? Have you gotten far into it? I'd be happy to hear your thoughts on this world. It's definitely become one of my favorite games. Absolutely loving it. Oh, I was wondering about that. So I thought this looked like a very familiar creature like we encountered before, and there's that flower again. I'm glad we're finally getting a little bit more. Oh, and they even put in like a little bit of mesh deformation on the flower. Look at that. That's so cool. We're getting a chance to actually recoup with this boss. I hope there's a way to spare it, you know. Let's see. Oh yeah, the same name, Goblu, I remember that. So Saria says, Tales of Exilia makes me laugh all the time. Teach me about bazongas. Same, Jude. Boobs, titties even. Breasts, if you will. Some big dub... What was that thing? It's like some big massive dahonka bonka loose. Some big donbon honkeros. That sort of thing. Honkers if you feel so inclined. Milkers if you insist. I won't insist, but I also won't object. Here we go. Jugs, if it would please your fancy. Melons, if I may be so bold. Coconuts, if I will satisfy you, or it will satisfy you. Chests, if thou'st the jiggles necessary. Pumpkins, if you chuckle fucks need to fucking chuckle and kerfuckle. Oh my goodness, this is what poetry was meant for. I don't care like about, you know, do I dare to eat a peach or whatever, or hey, I'm sorry I stole your plums from the fridge. None of that shit matters. This is what poetry was invented for. And thank you for keeping the art alive, Saria. It's very much appreciated. Your artistic spirit. Sorry, I get distracted by all the boobage. Justin, the voice actor, says it's going well. Okay, awesome. I'm glad to hear that. One sec, I gotta focus. How is that not a jump? Oh, that was embarrassing. You came at the perfect time to see me make a fool of myself. you don't play these types of games. Normally, I don't either. This was highly recommended by, I guess, like most of the world, but also by Saria in particular, who convinced me to try it out by singing its praises. And so I am, I've just been having a delightful time with it. It's not usually the sort of game I would play. As a matter of fact, I had specifically decided that I was not going to play it because I just played a bunch of other, or like I tried to play a few other JRPG style games like Persona 5 and Tales of Berseria, I think, and then or Tales of Arise, I forget what it was, and then Metaphor Refantasio. I kept trying to play these like JRPG style games and kept getting burned by them. I even tried a what the hell is it called? Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, which I liked quite a bit at first, but I was so fatigued on the genre. I was so fatigued on the tropes and stuff, and I was like, I saw like a clip from this game, and I was like, I am deciding right now I am never going to play this because I'm so sick and fucking tired of this kind of thing. And then Saria, thankfully, wouldn't shut up about how awesome it was and kept posting like beautiful screenshots from the game, and I was like, I have to check this out. It looks so cool, and I'm so glad I did because it's like genuinely one of my favorite games ever now. But I can understand it's like a very, very unique aesthetic. It's a little bit I'd be curious, is there a specific reason why you tend not to play these kinds of games? Like you're referring to like JRPGs, I assume. Is it sort of not just a genre that you particularly vibe with? No judgment at all, you know, everybody has their own tastes and preferences and all that. I'm just kind of curious. What, does she have the cheat death thing? No, what the hell? I thought you had the cheat death peak tool. I gotta be careful here for a second, sorry. Oh boy. Okay, yeah, you really did come in at the perfect time to watch me fumble this fight. Okay, there we go. I think I need to stop running my mouth for a second and actually focus, but no problem. That was probably a waste too. I keep wasting those attacks, but that's okay. Get the revives in. I'm so used to just like spamming things out with Verso that when I go to other people's times, then, or when other people's turns rather, then I'm just inclined to do the same sort of spam. Yeah, I am kind of screwing myself over here. I'm gonna ignore chat just while I finish this fight because otherwise I'm totally gonna lose it. And then I'll get back to you guys as soon as I'm done. So thanks for your patience. Just give me a sec. Yeah, and now he's gonna get more shields, huh? Oh, Justin says I'm gonna have to get into them though. Yeah, I think you should try it out. I think this is honestly like a great way to kind of get into the JRPG genre, like the modern iterations of that, so to speak, especially if you haven't done so all that much yet, because this definitely like wears its inspirations on its sleeve, so to speak. Like, it is very clearly inspired by X, Y, or Z thing, pays homage to those things, and is you know, if you start playing more games in the genre, you will very clearly and readily see where those inspirations come from and how they've been incorporated. But also because of its like modern innovations and its uniqueness and you know, it's the things that make it stand out and stand apart, you can pick this up as like a quote-unquote first JRPG very readily, and then use what you learn from the experience to go back to others. It's a great starting point, I think. I feel like I'm sounding like an advertisement for the game, but you know, whatever. Like, I love it, so I'm probably going to. Justin asked what game am I working on. So I'm under NDA, which means I can't like talk about it directly. The way that my like contract works is that I work for a company that then kind of sends me out to work on other games. So like they'll be like, okay, for the next 2 months you're working on this game, and then you're done there, and then for the next year you're going to be working on that one. I used to work in-house at a particular studio for a while until the game finished, and then, you know, hopefully stay at the studio. That can be very unstable though. Studios tend to shut down a lot. People get fired en masse when we're you know, not needed. It's very discouraging. So I was lucky enough to find this particular company that does like subcontracting essentially. So sometimes I'll be involved on a project for over a year. I think the longest one was like a year and a half. And sometimes it'll just be a couple weeks. One game I can mention that I work on for a little while was Fortnite. You probably won't find me in the credits just because the work that I did was like so. It was like implementing like sounds and stuff for skins, and there was like a dozen of them coming out every week. So like I don't even know if there is a credits page that listed it all. It was kind of like a ghostwriter sort of thing, where it's like we would just get sent the sounds or whatever they were, and we just have to like hook them up in Unreal and get them working. So you know, it wasn't too hard or anything, but it was a chill job. It was almost like a like assembly line. Like it was a very regimented thing. There was a very specific process, a very specific, you know, workflow and schedule and everything like that. And then when that wrapped up, like I went to something that was completely different, where it's like you have like 3 months. I probably won't go there right now. You have 3 months to basically come up with a concept for something with a few other people. Good luck. We'll check in 3 months and see what you did. You better not. You better have something. You know, that sort of thing. So it varies a lot. It's kind of chaotic sometimes, but I also really enjoy it. Um, let's see. You said Peach, and I thought about that movie, James. Oh, James and the Giant Peach. Yeah, I've never seen it, but I always thought I was supposed to be a ripoff of Jack and the Beanstalk. And my lesbian brain said not. No, I don't think so. I think it's isn't it Roald Dahl? That's the author, right? Um, and the movie I want to say is by Tim Burton, but no, I don't think it has anything to do with that. It's been forever since I've seen it, but yeah, I think it's kind of one of those like I guess in a vaguely similar vein to Coraline, where it's a kid's story, but it also has a certain amount of like darkness. Sounds like I'm oversimplifying, but you know what I mean, right? It deals with some, I guess, a little bit more intense topics. The imagery is allows itself to be a little bit more vivid and a little bit more provocative, I suppose you could say. Um, Whatever game, says Justin, you're working on, I would love to try out if there's a voiceover. I would love to be able to offer you that opportunity, Justin. Unfortunately, I'm not really able to like take auditions or anything like that because I'm in like a subcontractor position. I don't get to hire people or do anything like that, unfortunately. Um, I did a while ago, and it was super fun. And there's a lot of talented folks out there who are super fun to work with. And I would be more than happy to try to help if I can, but unfortunately, just with the nature of my job, I don't like. I had to kind of say goodbye to that, and I can't do that anymore. I just kind of like handle the tasks that come my way, if that makes sense. But that's really cool to hear. I mean, I think, you know, the vocal performances in a game can really carry the game, obviously, and create like this very deep emotional connection between the player and the game world. So it's a great space to work in. A lot of friendly people in that industry, a lot of support. If you do, like, I don't know what your level of experience is, or like what games you worked on. Feel free to share if you like. One thing I will say is like, make sure, like, don't ever be afraid to advocate for yourself and for your health. This is less of a problem these days, but traditionally, you know, video game voice actors, which you might already know all this, so apologies if so, but like video game voice actors have traditionally been pretty undervalued and treated kind of like workhorses, and especially in games where like you have to do a lot of shouting, death VO, stuff like that, like battle yells and grunts and stuff. It can be super taxing on your voice, and like in the past, like traditionally, directors didn't give a shit. They didn't want to hear about it. They would put you in a booth and they would just make you yell until your throat went raw. That's just not sustainable. It's not healthy. It's not fair to you either. And so, you know, you can always. I hope that you'll never have to deal with that. But if you do ever get a director who like pressures you that way, don't be afraid to like set your limits and be like, no, this is where my voice is done for today. Like, I can feel my voice getting scratchy. I give you 4 hours. We can start off. That's what I noticed that some of the voice actors that I worked with before would do. They'd be like, okay, my voice will last about 4 hours. If we do like talking and medium voice stuff earlier in the day, and then we can have the last hour be shouting, and then that's pretty much it. If there's going to be like really difficult, brutal screaming and stuff like that, then like really want to save that for the end of the session, not do it at the start. But then yeah, just like advocate for yourself and be like, this is my limit, and it might be a little intimidating to do so at first, but I think now more so than ever, like any director who's worth working with, any project that's worth working with, will understand that you're advocating for your well-being, and should be respectful of that. So again, sorry if you already know all this. I just understand that if you happen to be newer in the industry, like dealing with that shit, people unfortunately can take advantage of your newness. Always feel like you can stand up for yourself, you know what I mean? Anyway, sorry, I kind of went on a little bit of a rant there. Saria says, the French girl wouldn't be silent. So many kings said the same. And now we have dethroned them all. It's epic. I love it. Justin says, sorry, I think he's under contract. Yeah, I don't believe he can tell what he's working on currently, but he has worked on Fortnite. That's correct, yeah. I can probably mention a couple of other things. If I wasn't already aware of the fact that people in the Naruto community can get very, like, toxic, and like, there have been instances of people, like, doxing each other and harassing each other, I'd probably be more open to sharing specific things. I just got, like, pretty cagey about it because I wanted to be, I don't want to have to deal with any of that stuff. I mean, I'm sure if people were really motivated to find out more about me, they could, but I'm trying to still play it safe. Also, I kind of like, mostly because I like running my fucking mouth, I like for my work and my, stream personas, not persona, I feel like I'm genuinely myself, but I like for there to be a little bit of a separation between those two worlds, if that makes sense, just so that I can kind of like let loose on stream a little bit more. Something that was drilled into our heads, like, very early on when I started working, is that, like, even if you say X, Y, or Z thing, like, you can put on your Twitter page, like, opinions expressed here are my own or whatever, and yeah, that's cute, and you should do that, but also, like, if people want to, like, perceive you as a spokesperson for your game or whatever, they will. Like, if I worked on a Call of Duty, I have not worked on Call of Duty, but if I had worked on Call of Duty and I went online and tweeted something about it, and I was like, Call of Duty sucks my ass and I hate it and it's made of ass, then, it wouldn't matter that I then said, oh, BT dubs, this is just my opinion, LOL, right? Like, the headline would be, Call of Duty developer hates his own game, or some shit like that, you know what I mean? So, you just gotta be careful about setting boundaries, I think. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, I might, at some point, I'd love to go back, honestly, and play some of the games that I've worked on, and be like, hey, here's the decision that I made over here. Here's hey, you guys probably wouldn't notice this, but there's this bug. I never got to fix this. You can still hear it. You can still see it. Talk about that. I'm a little hesitant with that too, because So one thing I can mention is that I was on a project where it was a really cool game, really cool project, cool people, and then there was some drama that happened at the studio, which is not uncommon. A lot of drama in the industry, unfortunately. And then when some of the people left the company after the drama, they decided that it was, this is fucking beautiful as well, that it was, like, I guess, up to them, like they had the right to kind of talk about it. So they talked to some journalists, or they contacted people and, like, shared their experiences, which is fine. But when they shared their experiences, they weren't like, I felt like it was toxic for me to work at this company, or I felt like I was treated unfairly, and here's why. They were like, we were all treated unfairly. Like, we were all, not abused, but, like, exploited. We were all, etc., etc. They took it upon themselves to speak for the whole team when, like, no one asked. And yeah, I actually kind of agreed with some of the stuff that they were saying. Like, hey, this, that, or the other thing wasn't cool. That shouldn't have happened. It sucks that it happened. But also, like, there was other stuff where it's like, no, you said we all felt this way. I was part of that group. I don't feel that way at all, bro. Like, you don't speak for me. I disagree with you there, or like you're trying to imply that me personally, like by association, that I had this emotional experience or this work experience which I didn't, and now you've made me like complicit in that without my consent. It felt kind of grimy, and so I really like, if I do start like mouthing off about some of that shit, I do want to find a way to be like, no, actually for realsies, this is just my fucking opinion and literally nobody else's, right? So don't quote me, type thing. But I have to figure out how to do that and be fair to like other people who are on the team who aren't there to like to participate in that conversation, if that makes sense. Justin says that's understandable. NDAs are very important, even as a small actor or small VA or voice actor I'm under NDA. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like, companies are very protective of their secrets, as I'm sure you know. Sometimes I think it's a little bit excessive. I mean, I worked on a project where for a little while, until the project was unveiled, we literally weren't allowed to talk about it to anyone, including like friends and family. So like my mom at the time had no idea what I was doing with my life for a like the better part of a year. She knew I was working in software or something like that. I'd give her a vague answer like that. So that created some friction. But at the same time, you know, I understand the need for it, especially when so much can ride on like the timing of your reveal and your ability to like surprise an audience and set expectations and build hype. You know, you don't want that shit being undermined by somebody throwing out a stupid comment or not being able to like keep their cool, so to speak, and wait for everything to kind of go off without a hitch. I don't know if they're doing this sort of thing these days as much, but it used to be that like, you remember, to use Call of Duty again, I think there was a Call of Duty game or a Halo game that came out where like when the game was announced, they had like set up this whole like simulated battlefield, and you would essentially like get in a Jeep, and there would be soldiers that were like dressed up as soldiers from the game, and they would, you know, it was mostly for press, I think, right? But they would like journalists and stuff, they would take you in the Jeep and they would ride you around this battle course, and there would be like fake explosions going off, and you know, basically you were like simulating what it was like to be in the game world that way. And there's this big reveal that they put this whole big production into it, and stuff like that. And then there was like this Sony press conference where they had the guy from who did the music for The Last of Us give like a live performance in this little tent that was meant to look like a scene from The Last of Us 2 when they unveiled that or whatever. I don't know if they're really doing that anymore. It's kind of like there's a couple of big trade shows like EA, like the Video Game Awards and shit like that. And then there's, you know, individual shows like Nintendo Direct. I don't know if they're really going quite as crazy with those individual reveals. And now we're living in an era where like shadow dropping things is fairly common and can actually be a pretty competitive like business strategy, because you're just like, you know, not giving anybody any time to react to what you do. You just like launch the thing and then they have to just fucking deal with it, right? So I think the nature of like people being strict about NDAs and all that might change a little bit over time. But yeah, but for now it's probably best to like play it safe, especially, you know, I don't know if it's the same wherever you live, but America, where I live, is a very litigious country, so people love their lawsuits. So, you know, I'm pretty paranoid about that stuff as well. Justin says, I can respect that, man. Sorry for asking. I didn't know you was under NDA. Oh, there's no problem whatsoever. No need to apologize. I appreciate you asking. And I wish I could be of more help. You never have to worry about asking. If I can't help you, I'll just be honest about that. But yeah, it's just the nature, like the double-edged sword of the industry. It kind of sucks, honestly, not being able to share things with people sometimes, because I really like the stuff. Oh, for fuck's sake. I really like the stuff that I do, and I really want to talk to more people about it. And unfortunately, sometimes you just have to kind of like stay silent, and that shit, I gotta stop doing that. Can be a little bit frustrating. Why is he invulnerable, but it's also his weakness? What is happening? Yeah, okay. Can I... They're all invulnerable to what? To lightning damage? What the fuck is happening? Medium light damage. Are any of these guys on fire? Yeah. Wow, I'm so stupid. I can't believe I just did that. That was so dumb. Let me read chat and then I'm gonna focus on this battle. Justin says, but I heard of it, but my directors respect me. They're very supportive. They even help guides me. And if I don't get the role, we can still chat until he gets the role that fits me. Honestly, that's perfect, man. That's a pretty rare thing. It's a pretty wonderful thing. And I think that's what a director is supposed to do, like a lead is supposed to do, right? They're not just supposed to, like, pay their underlings to get the shit done. They're supposed to help nurture them and grow them and, like, encourage them to develop. So if you can find a company or an individual or whatever that fits with you like that, then absolutely hold on to that and, like, maintain those connections. Like, stay friends with those people if you can. John hates Call of Duty confirmed. I actually love some Call of Duty games. I do think that the modern, like, ethics of recent Call of Duty games are... Well, I could do a whole stream about, like, how fucking frustrated I am with that franchise, because I grew up loving it. Grew up is a bit of an over-exaggeration, but you know what I mean. It's like, it was definitely something that I loved certain games, and I spent a lot of time with certain games in the series, and I really am, like, flabbergasted with what has been I guess happening with the franchise lately. Like, why are they invulnerable? What the fuck?
Attention.
Coming into a game lobby and, like, getting shot by Cheech and Chong, and then having fucking Nicki Minaj come over and twerk in your face is, like, really fucking absurd. I know since God, I'm doing terribly. I know that since we live in the era of Fortnite and Fortnite is profitable, we all have to do the Fortnite thing, right? It's legally required because money, but it's not charming. Very frustrating. Sorry, says watching my partner play Metroid, and I'm so glad she's letting me be a nerd and read through the logs. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Are you guys playing Metroid Prime 4? Honestly, like, that would be one of my most anticipated parts of that game. It's just, like, exploring the world and getting to immerse myself in the logs and messages and stuff like that. I'm letting myself die because I, like, fucked up this fight. I want to totally redo it. Oh, for fuck's sake. I guess I should actually give it a try. Hang on. Oh, yeah, I can just do that. I'm silly. Alright, let me see if I can focus up a little bit here and actually pull a victory out of the jaws of defeat here. Okay, that's not bad. Let's see, what are we going to do here?
Attention.
1, 2, 3. There we go. Nice counter. Beautiful. Okay, that was pretty effective. That one's a little quicker, a little bit trickier. Cute. Okay. Alright, let's see. See how well this does. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong to, like, trigger that. Let's see, the frost one. Okay, the frost one isn't vulnerable. I guess sometimes they get vulnerabilities for some reason. Or, invulnerability, rather. That's okay, though. Okay, do I have something that does damage to... You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna try this. I haven't tried this in a long time. See if I can actually pull it off. Nice, okay. Of course he would attack like that. Ah, shit. Okay. Oh, I didn't know you could do 3 in a row. What the fuck? Keep throwing me for a loop here. Okay. So I'm on green. Medium earth damage, defenseless. Let's try this. Invulnerable. He's invulnerable and defenseless at the same time. Let's see. Oh, it looks like it's just rotating through whoever's invulnerable. Let's see. Okay. Right. So let's go for the flame guy. Yeah. Okay. There we go. And let's see if we can just do Stendhal on the flame guy. Yeah, that's I'd say that works. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. Okay, you can stop. God damn it. Okay, there we go. Nice. This is definitely not optimized, but still having fun with it. Honestly, having Monaco being kind of like a big dumb tank that just sits there and resurrects the other characters kind of works. Although I think if I gave him like better counterattacks, like break damage on counterattack, something like that would actually be very helpful. And more speed too, to be able to like resurrect people. Yeah, because like I could be just building up like break with all of these things in the meantime. Fuck's sake, like give me a turn. Wow. Oh, that's meant to be a bark too, isn't it? Ah, I just realized that. Okay. So items revive. Yep, and let's do another revive. Damn it, I hit the wrong button. Okay, whatever. Alright, so let's see. Do I actually have any cool gradient attacks that I haven't tried yet? Medium physical damage to all enemies. High physical damage can break. Let's try to break the flame of Ek and see what happens. I don't know if I've tried that before. That was pretty beautiful. Let's try Endbringer on him. Yeah. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned now, like every time he goes wow, he's barking. Wow, that's really tricky with those timings. Okay, I'm gonna do this again. And back to full health. Not bad. Yeah, I really need some kind of a like break on counter. That actually is pretty, like, quite a bit of break damage there, so that's effective. I just need like break on counter, and then he'll be able to help out a whole lot more. Okay, I'm sure I can find something like that in the toolkit. Because otherwise you just get into the stalemate where nobody's really doing any damage to anybody else. I guess I could also just give the other characters like any amount of health. Can I have a turn? Just one turn. Holy shit. Yeah, he's definitely barking. Thank you, sorry for opening my eyes to that. Okay, holy shit, finally. Okay. There we go. Oh, of course. They're all gonna fucking die immediately. Come on, I was joking. What is wrong with me? I've been stuck in this fucking limbo for like 10 minutes. Okay, come on. Gotta do something. I had a feeling there was gonna be something tricky about that. I think I'm just too tired, man. I'm like making really bad decisions. Yeah, okay. I think he's got to resurrect. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, let's try that again and try not to fucking die and be stupid the whole time. Saria says, yep, Prime 4, she's more of a Prime enjoyer than me. I prefer 2D Metroid because I'm better at it. She's better at shooters, so it just works. So that's cool. You have that, you each have the thing that you specialize on. That's really cool, actually. I mean, she's better at Metroid in general, but you know that I love her anyway because I can't even jokingly insult her. Yeah, that's, I think that's a good sign. That's a good dynamic. Kind of feel the same way about my partner. You know, we both have, like, slightly edgy styles of humor, so sometimes I will try to, like, poke fun at her a little bit, but I can't really keep a straight face, you know, because she's just so great. I'm not a very... I can be sarcastic, I can be a little bit of a, like, a salty bitch on certain topics, but, like, in person, nah. I can't tell you how many times, like, I've been about to have a meeting at work or have a debate with somebody or something like that, and I'm, like, prepping for it, and in my head I'm like, man, I'm gonna really tell this person what I really think about them, and they're gonna know all about it, and they're gonna get a piece of my mind, man. They don't even know what's coming to them. These motherfuckers, they keep pushing me around, and they're not gonna push me around anymore. And then immediately, like, the meeting starts, and I'm like, all right, motherfucker, let's go. And they're like, hey, how you doing, John? I'm like, oh, I'm great, how are you? I had a small concern, maybe we could just go over it. You know, it's like, because I really don't, like, genuinely don't enjoy confrontation, for fuck's sake, or, like, messing with people like that, if that makes sense. I just kind of, you know, would prefer to get along, if at all possible, and so I think that kind of sort of sentiment winds up melting away very quickly. Okay, so I'm on heavy now. I don't feel like the Hexica Crush has really been doing all that much, so let me just stick with my Resurrection type beat.
Attention.
The staff just kind of, or spear just kind of disappeared. It was kind of funny. Hey, let's see. There we go. Finally, a decent counter. Okay, I think this is gonna be the last fight I do tonight. I am really fucking tired. Jesus, not to be a broken record or anything. Okay, here we go. So, who's vulnerable right now? The Frost one? Let's try the Stendhal on the Frost. Yeah, looks about right. Okay, that works. Already looking better. Yeah. Why is he... Oh, for fuck's sake. I really gotta pay attention. It's... Wait, no, that'll heal him. Okay. Whatever. Okay. So, when I'm doing... This is light damage, right? So if I can do a physical attack, yeah. Okay, there we go. Now I'm thinking with portals. Or thinking at all. Flambe sur moi. Yes, exactly. Okay. Actually doing something now. Okay. So I'm on Agile Mask. What do I have? Highlight damage, burn. I don't even really need to do that. I think I'm just gonna keep going with the buffs, honestly. Okay. And for this, I'm on Almighty. I don't even think I really, yeah, again, really need to. I think I should just, like, stack him up with buffs. Well, with buffing abilities, I mean. Okay, so let's go with, yeah, let's get us into Virtuous Stance. Take out the Thunder guy, I think. Probably take him out with a Stendhal this turn. Those sounds that they make are so creepy. They're, like, haunting. Critical hits. I think, yeah, let's just do that. What the fuck? Oh, I keep forgetting to check the... Okay. Alright, maybe now I'll actually learn my fucking lesson.
Amusons-nous un peu.
I think I'm going to go ahead and... Yes, okay. To check every single turn. And now it's the correct one. Okay. So, not ideal, but also... some progress. There we go. Mael's actually doing work. Okay. Starting to realize what I actually need to do, aka pay the fuck attention on occasion. 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And boom. Nice. Except I healed it and it absorbed the other damage. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. Okay.
Ça va mieux.
Okay. I was expecting that to be worse.
Montre-moi ce que tu sais faire.
Prête à
Okay. I need to get rid of the thunder more quickly. Let's see.
une danse de feu.
Almost. Okay. Can I just... For fuck's sake. Okay. That works. That works. It's doing something. I keep forgetting that while I'm stupid. Wait, no, I can still do physical damage to him. Or I would be able to... lightning damage, light damage... Wait, hang on a second. Can I do lightning damage to him? Probably not, right? Yeah, that's stupid. Oh well, it was worth a try. I know I can't do light damage to him, but... I guess... Oh, the flame one is free now. Okay, so that's fine. Oh, this is turning out to be much more complicated than I thought. Kind of cool.
À toi de briller. Vas-y, essaie de voir.
That one little thing that you... What the fuck? Ah, shit. That one little detail that you opened my eyes to, Saria, about... I don't know why I hadn't made the connection, but the idea that when he goes, wow, he's barking, has now made every single fight with him. Every time he says that, now I think of him being a good puppy, and it just makes me love him so much more. Thank you so much for that. It is genuinely a wonderful gift that you've given me on this day. Okay, so... Okay, that works. Let's see what else. I guess I'll just get some AP back. Works.
On les détruit.
Alright, yeah, let's just go for the follow-up. It's not quite as dramatic as it used to be, but still pretty impressive.
Attention.
Almost there.
À ton tour de danser. Prépare-toi.
Okay, I think we can do it. And yeah, we can do it this turn for sure. Alright, one. Let's go for Stendhal to just finish it off. Perfect. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. And I'm starting to feel more and more confident about the potential of going up against that serpent thing later on. Like, it's still going to be really hard, but, you know, getting there. So I think that's all I got in me for tonight. I'm going to say goodbye to this little kid. And, yeah, I regret that I can't spend more time this evening because I genuinely love this fucking game and I want to spend more time with y'all and spend more time in this world. But unfortunately, I am, like, fading out. Like, it's sort of... I'm gonna, I'm sure, play the stream back and wonder what the fuck I was talking about because I've been so out of it. So, thank you for being excuse me. Thank you for being patient for me. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys have a great Friday. Tomorrow. So for this weekend, we're gonna do something a little bit different. Normally we have our Clair Obscur, our Naruto streams on Sunday. No Naruto stream this Sunday. We're gonna skip it. I think we're at a good stopping point anyway, or good breaking point with the having wrapped up the Universal Naruto. I think I'm all done with that for now. Gonna talk about Sage Naruto versus Pain when we get back. But if you're not aware, Saturday night, they are having the Game Awards, and I'm going to basically just do a stream where I watch the stream and react to it, and I will talk about my thoughts as a game developer and a gamer also, and answer questions and just hang out, and I think that'd be fun. I am running out of words to say that are coherent, so I will leave now. But again, wish everybody very well. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's good to see you, Justin, Saria, and Riomen. Anybody else who's watching the VOD, thank you for following the series. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.